Yesterday, he was the weakest student in the entire school. Today, the whole world is hunting him. They call him the hidden god, the monster who one-shot a red name boss. But here's the truth. Aiden was level 1, a magic apprentice, a complete failure, until he unlocked something that shouldn't exist. A system that multiplies everything by 10,000. One kill, thousands of levels. One trash weapon becomes a diamond rank artifact. Now the elites fear him. His ex wants him back. But Aiden, he's not here to prove them wrong. He's here to rewrite the rules of the world. Die laughing, Aiden. You're just a commoner. How dare you raise your voice at me? Kale's mockery echoes through the halls of White City High. It slices through the tension of awakening day. Aiden stands still. His eyes are cold, sharp. A flood of memories rushes into his mind. 1,000 years ago, games and reality became one. Science died. Monsters emerged. Data became the only truth. Today, everyone awakens a job. But Aiden's luck just ran out. He is a magic apprentice, the most basic, the weakest, the most pathetic job available. No strength, no potential, a walking disappointment with stats that don't even break one. Is that how it is? Aiden mutters. He stares at his status screen. Level 1, 50 health. Every single attribute sitting at a miserable 1. In a world of talent, he is a nobody. Kyle, on the other hand, just hit the jackpot. An epic rank holy knight, the heir to a massive guild. But the real sting comes from the girl standing beside him. Elira, Aiden's girlfriend. She looks down at him with eyes full of pure disgust. You really disappointed me, Aiden. Her voice drips with venom. She didn't just awaken a high rank. She is a diamond rank flame mage. To her, Aiden isn't a boyfriend anymore. He is baggage. Are you embarrassed by me? Aiden asks. His voice is eerily calm. Elira doesn't hesitate. What else should I expect? You're the weakest in the entire school. Even the bottom feeders did better than you. Her face twists in anger. Break up, now. I don't want to talk to a waste like you ever again. She's done. 3 years of his hard work, 3 jobs a day to pay for her demands, his absolute devotion, all deleted in a single second. In this world, if you don't have power, you don't have value. Kyle laughs, stepping closer to claim his prize. Hear that? Your perfect scores were just a lie. You're garbage, Aiden. He brags about his epic rank. He claims he'll be the top of the city. Elira keeps twisting the knife, mocking Aiden's face as his only asset. Aiden stays silent. Anger burns behind his eyes like a hidden furnace. Then, the world freezes. A mechanical chime rings in his head. It's louder than their insults. Host awakening detected. Unlocking God-class system. 10,000 times critical hit. His heart pounds against his ribs. 1 unit of effort, 100 times the reward. The world of talent just met its worst nightmare. And Aiden? He's about to make them regret every word. The mechanical chime wasn't a hallucination. It was a lifeline. 10,000 times critical system. All rewards can be critical. Maximum reward, 10,000 times. Aiden's pupils shrink. The realization hits him like a physical blow. In a world where job rank is destiny, he just found a cheat code for fate itself. As a time traveler, he knew the legends, but feeling the rush of a system in his veins, that is something else. College testing, top universities, Garvard, it's no longer a dream, it's an inevitable reality. With a 10,000 times multiplier, even the weakest magic apprentice can become a god. Aiden's lips curl into a faint, dangerous smile. Elira sees it. It fuels her rage. What are you laughing at? She snaps. Her ego is bruised by his lack of tears. She expected him to beg. She expected him to crawl. But Aiden just looks at her with eyes like ice. Does it have anything to do with you? He retorts. No longing, no pain, just pure, unfiltered disgust. We're done. Don't contact me. Now, move. He pushes past the school beauty. She is nothing more than a common NPC. To Aiden, she's just baggage he finally dropped. Behind him, Elira's face twists with poison. She wanted a servant, not a breakup. Kale tries to swoop in. He flexes his epic status and promises of power, but she brushes him off in a fit of rage. Her standards are ruined by Aiden's looks. Kale, blinded by his own ego, blames Aiden. I'll show you how terrifying a holy knight is, he growls. He vows to hunt Aiden down. Meanwhile, the school is in an uproar. The genius student is now a garbage tier apprentice. They're already placing bets. How long will he survive in the wilds? How long until he becomes a cold corpse? But Aiden isn't listening. He's already at Adventurer Street, moving through shouting vendors and black market dealers. He ignores the trash gear. He ignores the overpriced potions. He needs the real deal. He needs to test his system. He walks into a high-end store. His gaze is fixed on the future. The world thinks he's a failure. They think his story is over. But with the first purchase he's about to make, Aiden is going to break the balance of this world forever. Welcome to Starlight Store. The greeting comes from Lunara, a woman with sharp eyes and a polished look. Professional high-end retail. Aiden doesn't waste time. He needs a wand to channel his magic. He needs armor to keep his level 1 body from being crushed. Lunara tries to upsell him, glowing gold rank dragon armor, but Aiden feels the sting of reality. He's alone. He's broke. His vampire ex-girlfriend Elira drained every penny he had. Just iron rank, he says. A bitter smile tugs at his lips. 70,000 credits. His entire life savings. Gone in a single swipe. He walks out with sturdy armor and a sturdy wand. They're rough. They're basic. But they're top tier for their rank. Lunara watches him leave, sighing at how such a handsome guy could be so tragically poor. But Aiden isn't thinking about his looks. He's betting his entire future on the system. If the 10,000 times multiplier doesn't kick in soon, he isn't just broke. He's dead. He boards the high-speed train, leaving the safety of the city walls, heading for the chaotic wilds where seasoned bounty hunters roam. The station at the edge of the wild is a madhouse. Screams for healers, high-level boss raids, greedy merchants filling the air. A level 1 rookie shouldn't even be breathing this air, let alone walking into the forest alone. But as Aiden prepares to head out, a voice cuts through the noise. Level 1, are you serious? It's Selena, petite, beautiful, dangerously talented. Aiden recognizes her instantly. The genius of 7th High, an epic class powerhouse, the daughter of the Warrior God Guild's leader. The wild isn't like school, handsome, Selena says. She blocks his path with a playful but worried look. Don't die the second you step out. Come with me. I'll help you level up. She's the elite of the elite, offering a lifeline to a failure. But Aiden's eyes are fixed on the dark trees ahead. He doesn't need a carry. He needs a target. The world sees a magic apprentice in over his head, but Aiden is about to show them what happens when a common job gets an infinite boost. High Priestess of the Elves, level 12 epic. Aiden's gaze lingers on Selena's stats. She's the literal face of the city, a genius from a powerful family, fast-tracked to level 12 in a single week. While others struggle, her father's guild provides everything. It's a bitter reminder of the gap between the elite and the commoners. Selena offers him a pity carry, promising him crumbs of experience while she hunts a level 10 boss. No thanks, Aiden says. His voice is flat. He doesn't need a babysitter. He needs to ignite his own spark. He leaves the goddess of White City standing in the dust, fueled by a confidence she can't understand. Aiden steps into the brush. A long-haired bunny hops out, a level 1 iron rank monster. He raises his cheap staff. Fireball! The creature explodes into ash. XP +1. Aiden's heart sinks for a microsecond. Was the system a lie? Then, the interface glitches, the numbers spin. XP +100, long hair bunny fur, times 100, a 100 times multiplier. In one kill, he hits level 4. His blood turns to ice. He realizes the sheer scale of his power. Another bunny falls, another 100 times boost. Aiden doesn't just level up, he rockets through the ranks. Within minutes, he faces a bronze rank elite, a bunny the size of a bear. He downs his mana potion, feeling the surge. Boom! The explosion is blinding. XP +130,000. Level 10 reached. Max first class. In less than an hour, he has caught up to the city's geniuses. But then, the loot drop flashes gold. Crimson Flame Staff, gold rank. A common mob just dropped a legendary treasure. Aiden grips the staff. His hands shake with raw excitement. The waste of First High is gone. A monster has been born. Crimson Flame Staff, gold rank. Spirit +300, damage boost +10%, fire damage +15%. Oh my god! Aiden's voice trembles as he reads the stats. 300 spirit points? In this world, people struggle to gain a few points per level. A gold rank item at level 10 is more than a weapon. It's a cheat code that defies the laws of nature. Normally, a long-hair rabbit drops trash, but the 100 times multiplier forced the drop to evolve. If a common mob can drop gold, what happens if he kills a boss? The thought sends a shiver down his spine. Epic, legendary, or even a mythic artifact? Aiden grips the glowing staff. His knuckles are white. He isn't going back to the city to celebrate. He's going deeper. He needs to know the limit of this power. But as he disappears into the darkening forest, he isn't alone. Selena is frozen in the shadows. Her mind is a chaotic mess. She saw it all. She saw him jump from level 1 to level 10 in minutes. She saw the gold rank glow in his hand. He's hiding his true power, she whispers. Her skin crawls with awe. To her, Aiden isn't a magic apprentice. He's a young lord from a hidden noble family, suppressing his level just to train in the dirt. While Selena trembles at his mysterious background, Aiden faces a new nightmare. The Flame Viper, a silver rank elite, level 13, 7,200 HP. It's a mountain of scales and fire, 6 meters high, golden eyes that promise a slow, agonizing death. This isn't a school simulation. There are no respawns here. If he misses his shot, he's just another meal. Aiden feels the cold sweat on his neck, but the fire in his heart is hotter. He raises the crimson flame staff. The gem at its tip pulses like a dying star. He's done being the weakest. He's done being the failure. One fireball to change his life. One strike to prove that in a world of talent, a god-level system is the only thing that matters. Aiden's heart races, but not from fear. The crimson flame staff hums in his hand. The system's logic is finally clear. Hard work doesn't just pay off, it explodes. He squares his shoulders against the level 13 Flame Viper. If I can't beat a snake, I don't deserve this power, he mutters. He doesn't wait. Fireball. The spell streaks through the air, hitting the Viper dead center. The beast screams. Half its health bar vanishes in a single charred explosion. Aiden is stunned. A gold rank weapon in the hands of a weak apprentice makes him a walking nuke. The Viper retaliates, spraying toxic green venom, conjuring pillars of fire. This is the moment of truth. One touch means instant death. Aiden's mind flashes back to every combat theory he ever mastered. He moves like a ghost, darting in a jagged S shape, leaving the Viper's golden eyes spinning. The beast misses every strike, slamming its head into a tree in a fit of blind rage. My turn, Aiden whispers. Another fireball, another explosion. The giant snake collapses into a heap of burning scales. The screen in his mind goes white with notifications. XP plus 270,000, 100 times multiplier triggered. He's drowning in loot, hundreds of hearts, scum, and eyes. But then, skill book, blazing tornado, platinum rank. Aiden nearly stops breathing. Platinum? Even his school principal only dreams of gold rank skills. A dual element catastrophe. Fire and air, low mana cost, unblockable damage. It's a skill designed to turn cities to ash. But the silence of the forest is broken. The crunch of boots. A group of seasoned scavengers emerges from the shadows. Their eyes are greedy. They spot the mountain of high-tier materials. Hand it all over and walk away, a sly-looking man sneers. He brandishes a blade. They see a kid in cheap iron rank armor. They see an easy target. What they don't see is the platinum rank storm brewing in Aiden's eyes. The hunt isn't over. It's just found better prey. Aiden didn't flinch. To these scavengers, he was just a level 10 kid in cheap armor. Easy prey. To Aiden, they were just targets to test his new reality. He scanned them. A rat-faced level 14 assassin, a level 19 heavy shield knight. In any other world, they'd crush him. But they didn't know about the gold rank staff. They didn't know about the platinum rank storm in his mind. "What are you laughing at, kid?" the assassin sneered. Then, his eyes caught the glow. "Gold rank? Kill him. That weapon alone is worth millions on the black market." Greed replaced caution. The gang of 7 surrounded him. Their eyes burned with bloodlust. Even the knight didn't care about Aiden's background. "Kill him now, and we join the dark cult tonight," he growled. They closed in, exactly where Aiden wanted them. Point-blank range, total wipeout. Aiden's smile widened, cold, mocking. Blazing tornado! The forest screamed. A massive vortex of fire and wind erupted from the earth. 100 meters wide, turning the night sky into a furnace. "A forbidden spell!" someone shrieked. But the words were swallowed by the roar. It wasn't a fight, it was an execution. One by one, the experienced hunters were shredded, turned into a bloody mist. Their high-level armor melted like wax. Aiden watched the carnage, feeling the rush of experience points flooding his system. No guilt, just the cold realization of his power. But as the smoke cleared, his brow furrowed. The count was off. One was missing. The last man standing is the assassin. He's shaking. His face is a mask of pure, unadulterated horror. He stares at Aiden like he's looking at a god of death. 7 elite killers, wiped out by a teenager in seconds. Who are you?" he stammers. His voice is a pathetic, high-pitched squeal. Aiden doesn't answer. He's already analyzing the battle. "My aim was off," he mutters to himself. "I need to lock on faster next time." He raises the crimson flame staff one last time. No need for an explosion. A simple fireball will do. The assassin screams, promising treasures, promising secrets, but the sun-bright flame hits him dead center. Boom! Another pile of ash. "I kill you," Aiden says with a cold smile, "and your things become mine anyway." He expects a reward, but he isn't prepared for the avalanche. Exp plus 340,000. Exp plus 1,230,000. The numbers spin until he's dizzy. He just banked more experience than 100 high-level raids combined. He's hit the level cap for first class. The moment he unlocks it, he'll rocket straight to the top of second class. But the loot? The loot is legendary. Critical ring, gold rank. Gale boots, gold rank. And then, a dark pulsing light, abyssal belt, diamond rank. Aiden stands like a statue. A diamond rank item. Something that shouldn't even exist in a city like this. Not even the mayor has one. Along with it, hundreds of high-tier potions. Enough to make him the richest man in the city overnight. He realizes the secret now. Killing multiple strong enemies at once doesn't just give a bonus. It multiplies the multiplier. The 100 times critical hit is just the beginning. He grips his staff. His body buzzes with untapped power. The college testing isn't a challenge anymore. It's going to be a slaughter. While other students fight for scraps of talent, they'll be facing a level 100 monster in human skin, draped in diamond rank gear. Aiden looks deeper into the dark woods. His eyes burn with a new hunger. He doesn't want to go back yet. There are bigger bosses in the dark, and every kill is a step toward becoming the absolute ruler of this world. Aiden clenches his fists. A wildfire burns in his eyes. Who says hard work is useless? With a 100 times critical multiplier, every drop of sweat just turned into a flood of power. He scans his new gear. His breath hitches. A critical ring with massive damage buffs. Wounding bracers adding 100 points to his spirit. Gale boots for godlike agility. And the crown jewel, the abyssal belt. A diamond rank masterpiece that shouldn't even exist in this city. 500 spirit points in a single item. It's insane. It's impossible, but it's his. 800 spirit points from a few items, Aiden whispers. His voice trembles with pure adrenaline. At level 10, a mere magic apprentice. Now holds the destructive power of a level 30 boss. He's a walking nuclear option, but he's not perfect. His defense is thin. His skills are on a knife's edge. One mistake, one cooldown gap. And he's dead. He needs to reclass. He needs to break the limit. He turns back toward the city. The moonlight paints the forest in shades of silver and death. Suddenly, the ground screams. Panic erupts. Hunters flee the woods like terrified animals. "Run! It's Tetian! The Iron Dragon is here!" A massive 60-meter steel beast erupts from the trees. 6 mechanical wings blot out the moon. A red name boss. A legendary nightmare. Every hunter in the area is paralyzed by fear. But Aiden? He doesn't move. He looks up at the monster. His lips curl into a dangerous, hungry smile. To the world, this is a catastrophe. To Aiden, it's the ultimate jackpot. The Iron Dragon thinks it's the hunter, but it's about to find out what a 100-fold critical hit feels like. "You're the hope of the city, kid. Run!" A middle-aged knight stands his ground. A level 17 bronze rank warrior, ready to throw his life away for a stranger. In a world of cold stats, his sacrifice is a rare spark of humanity. Aiden looks at the man, then at the 60-meter steel dragon blotting out the moon. "Don't," Aiden says. His voice is like ice. "I can kill this thing." The knight thinks he's insane, but Aiden isn't gambling. He opens his inventory. He crushes 100 enhancement gems in a single breath. Spirit plus 10, strength plus 10, agility plus 10. The notifications blur into a single roar of power. 1,000 extra stat points surge through his veins. The kind of growth an epic-class genius takes 30 levels to achieve. Then come the potions. He downs nearly 100 bottles of damage boosters. The system screams. Damage limit reached. His wallet is empty, but his power is overflowing. He steps past the stunned knight, walking directly into the dragon's shadow. Iron Dragon Titian looks down. His golden eyes narrow in mockery. "You little bug," the dragon rumbles. The translation flashes on Aiden's screen. "You think you can challenge a god?" Titian begins to chant. The air twists with ancient magic and elemental lightning. But Aiden was a top student for a reason. He knows exactly when to strike. The dragon commits to its spell. It can't move. Aiden raises the Crimson Flame Staff. "Fireball!" He doesn't lead with the big gun. He throws a volley of fireballs to trap the beast, cutting off its escape. Then, he releases the nightmare. Blazing Tornado, fueled by 1,000 stat points, fueled by 100 damage boosters. The skill evolves. A massive vortex of air and fire erupts, 300 meters wide, turning the forest into a blender of pure destruction. The Iron Dragon's mockery turns to a shriek of agony. The platinum-rank storm begins to shred its legendary steel scales. The night, the forest, the very sky, all swallowed by the light. The hope of White City isn't a student anymore. He's the end of a legend. Aiden stands in the center of a literal apocalypse. The blazing tornado has turned the forest into a silent vacuum of ash. 300 meters of multicolored elemental fury. Iron Dragon Titian, the invincible red name boss. He looks like a toy trapped in a blender. "I'll be your mount." "I'll serve you," the dragon screams. Its human-like face is contorted in pure desperation. Aiden watches, a flicker of interest in his eyes. A dragon mount would be legendary. But he simply shrugs. "I don't know how to turn it off," he mutters. With a final, earth-shattering boom, the dragon is silenced. Its massive body slams into a crater. It feels like the end of the world. The system doesn't just notify him, it explodes. Exp plus 100 million experience points, 1,000-fold critical hit. Aiden is now the wealthiest apprentice in history, but the loot makes his heart stop. Iron Dragon's staff, epic. Iron Dragon's armor, epic. Diamond rank items are myths told to children in this city, but Aiden is holding 2 epic pieces. He's skipped 3 entire tiers of power in a single fight. He checks the materials, 1,000 dragon hearts, 1,000 pairs of wings, 1,000 reverse scales. He's not just a student anymore, he's a one-man superpower. He has enough materials to arm an entire nation's elite. A forbidden spell. At level 10, Eric, the knight he saved, is trembling. He can barely stand. He looks at Aiden not as a student, but as a god. "You call yourself a magic apprentice?" he gasps. Aiden just smiles faintly. His storage space groans under the weight of 1,000 diamond rank wings. Eric introduces himself as a member of the Warrior God Guild. He is convinced he's standing before a hidden prodigy. Aiden ignores the titles. He has 100 million XP burning a hole in his soul. He has a date with the Reclasser Association. The city of White City is about to witness a miracle. They expected a failure to come crawling back. Instead, they're about to meet a monster, draped in dragon-scale armor, carrying the honor of a legendary kill. The hunt was just the beginning. The real takeover starts now. Aiden doesn't correct him. Let Eric believe the forbidden spell theory. In this world, perception is power. Being seen as a hidden elite is a safer cover. It's better than being a glitched magic apprentice. Eric's imagination does the heavy lifting. He crafts a backstory of elite training, a legend of suppressed poor levels. "Sorry, my lord, I talk too much," Eric stammers. He bows as if in the presence of royalty. Aiden just gives a calm nod. He moves toward the dragon's massive carcass. Eric realizes Aiden's storage is full. He offers a gold-rank spatial container, a rare item Eric spent years acquiring. Aiden accepts it, but he refuses to be a debtor. He tosses Eric 20 high-level potions and a diamond rank Iron Dragon wing. Eric's hands shake so hard he nearly drops it. A diamond rank material? Lord, I can't take this, he gasps. He doesn't realize, for Aiden, this is one of 1,000. Aiden simply says, take it. He uses the container to swallow the dragon whole. To Eric Egg, this casual generosity is the ultimate proof. Only a young lord would treat diamond rank material like a tip. As Aiden walks back toward White City, the moonlight paints his path. He leaves behind a crowd in absolute shock. The silence is broken by a roar of gossip. A level 10 mastering a forbidden spell? He has to be from the magic capital. Did you see that wing? He gave it away like it was nothing. The legend of the hidden prodigy begins to spread. It ripples through the ranks of the Warrior God Guild. They think they've seen a genius at work. They have no idea. They've just witnessed the birth of the world's most dangerous player. Aiden tosses a diamond rank dragon wing to the stunned knight. He handles it like it's pocket change. Behind him, the forest is a graveyard of secrets. The survivors are losing their minds. They have concocted a legend of their own. A hidden prince from the imperial capital. A young lord guarded by invisible level 80 masters. To them, his small storage is tactical training. His low level is power suppression. They don't see a student. They see a god walking among men. Call my father, right now. Selena's voice cracks over the phone. Her body trembles in the shadows. The daughter of the Warrior God Guild has seen the truth. She watched him delete an iron dragon with a forbidden spell. For 18 years, he was a ghost in this city. A clean slate. Now, she realizes the terrifying reality. This isn't just a prodigy. This is a monster hiding in plain sight. Her warning is sharp. Don't ever offend him. Aiden lies on his bed, staring at the leaking ceiling of his cramped apartment. The silence is deafening. Just this morning, he was the school's laughingstock. Now, he's a dragon slayer. His inventory is a mountain of diamond-rank treasure. 100 million experience points burn in his soul, enough to skyrocket past level 30 in a heartbeat. He stands up. His movements are sharp, energized. He pulls 2 items from the darkness of his storage. The Iron Dragon's staff, the Iron Dragon's armor. Epic rank. The room explodes with a cold, legendary light. The city is still whispering about the hidden prodigy. They have no idea. The real storm is just starting. Aiden stares at the screen. His breath hitches. Iron Dragon's magic staff. Iron Dragon's battle armor. Both are epic rank. Both are top tier. But there's something wrong. These items are already enchanted. The system, it's rewriting the rules of reality. Aiden realizes his heart is hammering against his ribs. A 1,000-fold critical hit didn't just give him gear. It birthed items that shouldn't exist. He dons the armor, a medieval masterpiece of steel and dragon soul. He grips the staff. Its jewels pulse with a cold, ancient power. In his cramped, leaking room, Aiden looks in the mirror. He sees a god staring back. The next morning, the silence is shattered. A screaming phone. It's May, his class teacher. You're a failure, Aiden. A magic apprentice skipping class? Drop out before you ruin our school's average. She spits insults like venom. Her voice is fueled by years of bullying. Aiden doesn't flinch. He doesn't argue. Fine, he says. His voice is like ice. I'll drop out. He knows the game. Kyle and Elira, the school's new golden couple, they are pulling the strings, using their family's influence to crush him. Aiden hangs up. A dangerous smile curls his lips. They want him gone? Fine, but they've forgotten one thing. In 1 month, the college testing begins. By then, he won't just be level 10. With 100 million experience points in his pocket, he's going to be a level 30 monster, draped in epic rank steel. When the top scorer title is announced, he wants to see May's face. He wants to see the school board's reaction. He wants them to realize they kicked out a national legend. He calls a taxi. His eyes are cold and focused. The failure is heading to school. One last time. Aiden scrolls through WeChat. He checks in with Lunara. Do you buy materials? The reply is instant and panicked. Materials? Yesterday you left with basic iron trash. Haven't you seen TikTok? The city's on fire. Aiden frowns, opening the app. The top 3 trending topics are all about him. slain the dragon. Forbidden spellmaster, mysterious young lord. The world is losing its mind over the hidden genius, the one who erased the level 30 red name boss. They're analyzing his S-rank movements, his tactical suppression of fur, his invisible level 80 bodyguards. Every comment section is buzzing, from the capital to the magic capital. They think he's a god. They think a disaster is coming. Aiden just shakes his head. The catastrophe they're terrified of is already sitting in his inventory. He arrives at the school office, but the atmosphere inside is the polar opposite of the internet's awe. Through the door, he sees Elira. She is whispering venom into the ear of May, their bitter, middle-aged teacher. "He cheated, Ms. May," Elira says with a mocking smirk. "He was never hard-working. He just used girls who liked him to pass notes." May's face turns yellowish with rage. "I knew it! A magic apprentice who cheats? I'm expelling him today." Elira fakes a sigh of pity. "Oh, don't be so harsh. I'm an epic rank now. Maybe I can train him to get into a third-rate college." Aiden's eyes turn to ice. Outside, he's the dragon slayer. Inside, he's a bottom feeder, a footstool for Elira's ego. They have no idea. The waste they're mocking is the same monster the entire country is worshipping online. He pushes the door open. His presence is silent, heavy. The bad student has arrived to drop out, but he's bringing the weight of an iron dragon with him. Elira flashes a calculating smile. She hands over a glowing damage boost potion. May gasps. She eagerly takes the bribe. She praises Elira's fake generosity. Outside the door, Aiden hears every single word. His blood boils. She doesn't want to help. She wants a loyal dog, and this corrupt teacher is playing right along. Aiden pushes the door open. The room freezes. He stares them down. I am dropping out. His sudden presence brings a heavy, terrifying pressure. May quickly recovers. She mocks his decision. She tells him he needs Elira to reach level 5. Without them, she claims he is nothing. Just a useless magic apprentice. Aiden laughs internally. He looks at their pathetic levels. Elira is level 2. May is barely 12. He is already level 10. One single fireball. They are dead. But they are too arrogant to even check his stats. He demands the paperwork immediately. May furiously stamps his file. She swears he will fail completely. He signs it. He grabs his copy. He walks out. Leaving the school grounds, a massive weight lifts off his shoulders. No more fake friends, no more useless classes, just pure power progression. He takes a taxi straight to the city center. He walks into the luxurious Reclasser Association. He approaches the desk. He hands his file to the receptionist. "I need a class change." The girl freezes completely. She stares at his papers in absolute disbelief. He maxed his level. Under 1 day. Tina stares at Aiden in absolute shock and disbelief. He just awakened as a magic apprentice yesterday. Yet, he is already at the maximum level. She stammers, asking why he dropped out. Aiden looks at her with completely cold eyes. "Does this affect my class change mission?" Tina shivers. She quickly guides him to the crystal ball. Aiden takes the crystal and crushes it. The system screen goes crazy with unusual messages. It labels him a powerful magic genius. Then, it gives him a truly impossible task. Defeat a level 10 abyssal boss. Aiden frowns deeply at the ridiculous requirement. An abyssal dungeon is practically a death sentence. To even enter, he needs an extremely expensive permit. He realizes he must sell his recent loot. He asks Tina if they buy monster materials. She shakes her head and rejects low-level items. Aiden speaks in a calm and steady voice. It is a level 30 dragon boss. Tina completely freezes. She stares at him in pure horror. The mayor himself is only level 42. Aiden delivers the final heavy blow. Diamond rank materials. Tina jumps up in sheer panic. She bows repeatedly and rushes him to the top floor. Inside the massive office, 2 powerful men are arguing. Lucian, a diamond dragon knight, and George, an epic artisan. George furiously demands 3 diamond rank dragon materials. Lucian is stressed out and completely helpless. Finding those rare materials is practically impossible here. Tina nervously interrupts their loud argument. She stutters. Anne introduces Aiden to the room. Lucian simply nods his head. I know. Lucian glances coldly at the student. He assumes the materials are only gold rank. George scoffs at the idea of real dragon blood. Tina is sweating nervously. She forgot one tiny detail. They are diamond rank. Lucian and George freeze completely. Aiden smirks. He waves his hand. A massive pile of glowing materials crashes down. 1,000 reversed dragon scales. The metallic sound shakes their very souls. The office is flooded with blinding golden light. The men look at their pathetic single scale. It looks like absolute trash now. Lucian gasps in sheer terror. He apologizes for his massive disrespect. He kicks Tina out of the room. Tina runs away in absolute shock. A simple level 10 apprentice just dropped a fortune. Lucian nervously hands Aiden a cup of tea. Aiden opens his storage space again. He reveals the horrifying reality. Thousands of dragon hearts and eyes. Almost 10,000 diamond rank materials. Lucian's body goes numb. He is the second strongest man here. Yet he begs for just one material. George stares at Aiden like a ghost. He realizes the dark truth. You cast the forbidden spell. You wiped out the dragons. He assumes Aiden is a supreme noble from the sovereign city. The artisan bows, trembling in fear. Lucian shakes beside him. Aiden ignores their pathetic panic. He stares them down coldly. I want an abyssal pass. The two men freeze once again. They scramble to buy his rare materials. They promise to auction the rest for free. Aiden cuts them off. None of that matters to me. Just give me the pass. Aiden ignores the massive fortune. He demands the abyssal pass. Lucian quickly explains the options. An epic pass takes you to the outer edge. A mythic pass drops you straight into Infernal City. Aiden chooses the epic pass. He wants to test the waters first. Lucian hands over the glowing golden card. It costs 10 million for a single trip, but Lucian immediately waives the insane fee. He only asks to buy materials before the public auction. He promises to invite all the major guild leaders today. Aiden nods. He demands his money immediately. Suddenly, George interrupts with absolute crazy excitement. He wants to forge an epic weapon. Lucian chokes on his tea in pure shock. George admits the absolute brutal truth. The success rate is barely 0.1%. He just desperately needs the practice to reach legendary rank. Aiden does not even hesitate. Take 1,000 pieces. Try to make it. I do not care. George is completely blown away. He bows deeply. He hands over 300 million, just to say thank you. He swears absolute loyalty to Aiden right there. Lucian quickly makes the exact same promise. Aiden simply asks for high-level skill books. He needs to boost his mana for the dangerous abyss. Lucian rushes to bring the books, without any questions. Lucian places 7 glowing skill books directly on the table. Aiden scans them quickly. 2 are platinum rank. 1 is diamond rank. This is the absolute best this remote city can offer. Aiden points to the strongest 3 without hesitation. A platinum healing spell. A platinum freezing spell. A diamond rank lightning storm. Healing. Crowd control. Massive area damage. The perfect deadly combo. Lucian quotes the massive price. 2 billion in total. Aiden barely reacts to the number. He tells him to deduct it from the dragon materials. He announces he is leaving for his class change mission. Lucian and George exchange terrified looks. They assume he is tackling a level 40 quest. Before he leaves, Lucian hands over a special reward, a junior medal for killing the massive iron dragon. Aiden equips it instantly. His stats explode. Health doubles. Mana skyrockets. He feels completely unstoppable. He heads down to the lobby in silence. Tina trembles in pure terror as he walks past. He steps outside the building to grab some food. Suddenly, a familiar arrogant face blocks his path. It is Kale, the epic paladin from his high school. Aiden scans his stats and almost laughs out loud. Kale is barely level 3, still completely lazy and overly arrogant. Kale loudly mocks Aiden in front of his elite guild leaders. He calls him a useless and pathetic magic apprentice. The guild leaders laugh and head inside to meet Lucian. Kale stays behind just to brag. He claims Lucian invited them for a massive auction. He boasts about securing high-tier diamond rank gear. He has absolutely no idea the truth. Those materials belong to the exact person he is mocking. Kale shoves his arrogant face forward. He loudly brags about diamond rank gear. He claims his Dragonlight Guild will secure 3 legendary pieces. He sneers down at Aiden. He promises to erase him completely. Aiden just smiles calmly. He walks away. He already knows the hilarious truth. Those exact guild leaders are currently rushing to buy his own materials. Let them pay the deposit. Let them build their hopes. The upcoming crash will be beautiful. Aiden heads to the city's most expensive restaurant. He sits by the window. He orders a $10,000 meal. After eating, he walks to the Starlight store. He desperately needs mana-boosting equipment. The clerk, Lunara, greets him. He demands the highest rank item they have. She hesitates. She mentions a broken platinum rank ring. It costs 400 million. She laughs awkwardly. She thinks he is just joking around. Aiden calmly pulls out his bank card. Then, he tosses her his phone. Lucian is on the line. The city's second most powerful man speaks with extreme respect. He agrees to cover the missing 100 million. Lunara completely freezes. Her brain short-circuits. She stares at Aiden in absolute terror. She runs to process the paperwork. She returns trembling. She brings the delicate ring and an extra gift. The store owner heard the news and panicked. He slashed 50 million off the price. He gifted 2 free platinum skill books, Cloaking Art, and Eye of Insight. Aiden coldly accepts the powerful tools. He turns his focus to the delicate ring. Aiden stares at his new platinum ring. The magical stats are incredible. It once belonged to an ancient great demon lord. Lunara mentions the item is actually broken. If repaired, the massive stats will immediately double. Aiden thinks of the epic artisan. Maybe George can fix it later. He ignores Lunara's nervous rambling. He raises his hand. He crushes the epic permit. Lunara gasps in absolute horror. She finally connects the terrifying dots. The limitless wealth. The legendary connections. He is the rumored forbidden spell user. The space suddenly distorts violently. Aiden vanishes completely. He lands in a freezing world of dead bones. The abyssal sanctum is pitch black. He quickly summons a fireball for light. A terrifying monster steps out of the shadows. A level 10 skeleton soldier. Aiden does not hesitate at all. He fires a single explosive blast. The skeleton shatters instantly. The system grants a 10 times multiplier. Just 20,000 experience and useless trash. Aiden frowns deeply at the terrible loot. He is far too strong now. Weak monsters give absolutely garbage rewards. He desperately needs to hunt bigger prey. Suddenly, a massive magical disturbance shakes the dark ground. A terrifying heat wave hits him hard. A massive burning monster blocks his path. A gold rank boss. Level 15, Fire Demon. Aiden grips his staff. The real hunt begins. A massive flame demon blocks Aiden's path. Its giant wings flap heavily in the dark air. The level 15 boss sneers at him. It mocks his pathetic level 10 Magic Apprentice class. It calls him a free meal. The noble demon promises to eat his heart. It wants to turn him into an undead slave. Aiden does not waste a single word. He raises his staff. Ultimate Frost. A terrifying wave of ice explodes outward. The freezing energy instantly covers the flying demon. The boss freezes completely in place. Its eyes bulge in absolute fear and sheer disbelief. How does a mere apprentice have such terrifying magic? It cannot even scream. It becomes a solid ice statue. Aiden follows up immediately. Thunder's Wrath. A deafening storm of lightning tears through the abyss. Countless bolts smash the frozen demon into pieces. The boss is dead. Aiden is completely stunned by his own insane power. The system grants a massive 100 times reward multiplier. 2 million experience points flood his stats. He receives hundreds of gold-ranked demon swords. His second-class mission is instantly completed. The impossible task took only 1 single second. He can now mass-produce high-end gold-ranked gear. Aiden smirks. He decides to stay a little longer. He walks through the terrifying abyssal sanctum with total ease. He spams his frost and lightning combos everywhere. Skeleton knights shatter. Demons turn to pure ash. Ghost bosses evaporate. He reaps millions of experience points instantly. Hundreds of rare materials overflow his massive inventory. The deadliest dungeon in the world is just his personal playground. Aiden stares at his status screen. Hundreds of millions of experience points overflow his pool. The level 10 cap is the only thing holding him back. His insane 1,000 times multiplier makes leveling up a complete joke. He sorts through his massive pile of new loot. Most of it is standard gold rank gear. He completely ignores the weapons and armor, but one specific item catches his attention. A Starlight rank skill book. It dropped from a basic skeleton knight, Demon's Domain, a massive dark magic field that obliterates enemies. He hesitates for a brief second. Dark magic can easily corrupt a human mind. It can ruin his future class evolution. But Aiden shakes his head. Strength is absolute truth. He learns the forbidden skill immediately. Black dust clouds his sharp vision. He raises his staff to test his new power. Demon's Domain activates. A terrifying shockwave rips through the dark wasteland. Over 100 monsters explode into bloody pieces. A level 13 boss evaporates instantly. The mana cost is practically zero. Aiden smirks at his terrifying new weapon. Suddenly, desperate screams echo through the dead wasteland. A group of terrified teenagers runs directly towards him. A massive level 40 fire demon chases them down. The monster is the size of a floating mountain. Aiden quickly scans the fleeing group. Their stats are mind-blowing. Legendary rank, epic rank, starlight rank. The girl leading them is Vespera, the top genius heiress from Sovereign City. She desperately screams at Aiden to run away. The Demon Lord's messenger tries to block the monster. The epic troll warrior raises his heavy shield. He steps forward. He gets crushed. The massive boss blasts him away effortlessly. The demon steps through the flames with a cruel smile. It looks down at the pathetic humans. The massive flame demon sneers down at the cornered elite teenagers. He violently mocks their high ranks. He threatens to eat their hearts to evolve. Vespera fiercely holds her ground, without fear. She threatens him right back. Human lords have reached level 100, she loudly warns him. Her powerful father could crush him instantly. Oslu completely loses his temper. He unleashes a terrifying wave of suffocating dark energy. Aiden quietly scans the giant monster. An epic rank, level 40 boss, 5 million health points, a wanted national red name target. Aiden does not hesitate for a second. He rapidly drinks 200 damage boost potions. His attack power hits the absolute limit. He steps directly in front of the panicked Vespera. He raises his staff high. Ultimate Frost. Vespera desperately tries to pull him back. She suddenly freezes in pure absolute shock. The massive level 40 demon is completely encased in solid ice. It cannot move a single inch. She quickly snaps out of it. She screams for an attack. The elite teens unleash absolutely everything they have. Colorful high-level skills relentlessly blast the frozen boss. The health bar violently plummets down. It drops to exactly 50%. The solid ice shatters loudly. Oslu roars in absolute blind rage. Vespera shifts into her fierce draconic form. She sprouts golden wings. She aggressively slashes forward. She gets blasted back. She crashes violently right next to Aiden. The furious demon enters its deadly second phase. Aiden smiles calmly at the exhausted elite teens. They successfully took half a boss's health. Now it is his turn. He possesses 2 epic items. He holds a starlight skill. He carries 200 stacked damage buffs. He stops holding his power back. Demon's Domain. A massive pitch-black ritual circle instantly swallows the screaming demon. Oslu locks his burning eyes on Aiden. He violently mocks the foolish human for using dark magic. He assumes he can easily escape the deadly ritual. He is completely wrong. The massive dark circle explodes into a terrifying flood. Heavy dark energy swallows the massive demon. Oslu screams in pure panic. He desperately tries to break free. Vespera and her elite team block his escape. Aiden shouts at them to back up immediately. He furiously chugs mana potions, one after another. He pumps infinite mana into the deadly dark domain. The field rapidly expands. It crushes the monster. Oslu's health violently plummets to 30%. The demon erupts with blinding red light. He violently pushes against the suffocating energy. Aiden demands they hold the raging monster back. Vespera signals her teammate Vivi. The girl sacrifices all her remaining energy. She casts Demi-Lord Boost on Vespera and collapses. Vespera shifts into a glowing golden dragon. She charges forward with her Dragon Roar sword. She violently slashes the towering demon. The impact is deafening. Vespera is blasted back. She spits up blood. She crashes right at Aiden's feet. Oslu's arm is torn apart. The boss drops to exactly 10% health. Vespera has nothing left. She looks up at Aiden in total despair. She begs him to run away. Aiden cancels his dark domain. He chugs even more mana potions. He stares down the terrifying demon. "Give me 10 seconds. Vespera places her absolute trust in him. She screams for John. The troll warrior unleashes his frenzy blood. He mutates into a massive towering giant. He stands in the demon's deadly path. Oslu punches him. John is crushed. The three elite geniuses lie broken on the ground. The furious demon charges directly at Aiden. Aiden simply smiles. Vespera stares at Aiden with absolute despair. John will be crushed in exactly 5 seconds. It is far too late to do anything. She deeply regrets stepping foot into the deadly abyss. She slowly closes her eyes, preparing for death. A deafening thunderclap rips her eyes wide open. A terrifying storm of pure lightning engulfs the crippled demon. Aiden smiles widely as the monster screams in agony. The dark domain was just a simple trap. The real execution is Thunder's wrath. The special lightning ignores the demon's magic resistance. Oslu roars in absolute blind rage and pure terror. The human lied about the 10 seconds. The demon violently spits out pitch-black blood. He screams ancient forbidden words. Vespera shrieks in absolute horror. A demon's death curse! A blinding black light instantly knocks her team unconscious. The dark energy slams directly into Aiden. A terrifying system log pops up. You are cursed. He is now a glowing lighthouse for every demon within 10 kilometers. The massive demon violently crashes to the ground. The national-level epic boss is dead. Aiden's system goes absolutely crazy. 200 million experience points flood his stats. He receives 500 glory points, a special middle-rank medal, but the real treasure drops next. 1,000 epic demons' hearts, the ultimate material to force a class upgrade. Aiden's eyes widen with absolute excitement. His pathetic magic apprentice class can finally evolve. He plans to crush Kale's arrogant rank in the future. The boss drops 2 incredible items: a broken legendary rank flame demon staff, and an epic flame demon cloak. Aiden instantly equips the powerful cloak. It grants massive defense, and the rare ability to fly. He quickly heals the unconscious elite team with his new platinum spell. Vespera slowly opens her eyes. She stares at the dead boss, and then at Aiden in absolute disbelief. "You actually killed it?" Vivi slaps her own face to make sure she is not dreaming. Suddenly, Vespera's face turns deathly pale. "We need to run right now." Aiden looked down at the dead body of the flame demon Oslu. Vespera screamed at him to run, but the demon was already dead. Why should they run? Suddenly, a bright red light lit up the dark sky. A heavy pressure filled the air. Aiden looked into the distance. He was shocked. His face became serious. "Is there another boss?" Vespera quickly stood up and helped Vivi. "This is the territory of Demon Duke Ethan." The flame demon was just his servant. "We must leave now," Aiden gasped. The flame demon was level 40, and he was only a Viscount. A demon duke would be at least level 60. Aiden could not fight someone that strong. Immediately, Aiden used his magic power. He activated his new Abyss Flame Demon cloak. The deep red cloak lifted Aiden into the air. John looked at his own wounds. He gritted his teeth. "You guys go. I cannot run fast." Vespera looked at Aiden. "Vivi is small and light. Can you carry her?" The red light in the distance came closer. It became brighter. Aiden did not want to die for strangers, but he wanted to try. "If it gets too dangerous, I will leave you. But I can try now." Vespera felt relieved. She looked at Vivi. She whispered, "You must survive. Tell my father to avenge me." Vivi shook her head. Her eyes were red. Aiden did not want to waste time. He flew down to them. He wrapped his arms around both Vespera and Vivi. He picked them up together. The two girls were shocked. Vespera felt his strong heartbeat. Her face turned red, and she looked down. Vivi was scared of heights. She tightly hugged Aiden's arm. Aiden looked at them. Both girls were very beautiful. But there was no time to waste. Aiden flew over to John. "John, grab my legs." John did not hesitate. He grabbed Aiden's legs tightly. Aiden took a deep breath. He poured all his magic power into the cloak. The cloak moved fast. They flew through the air like a fast car. Suddenly, Aiden almost hit an obstacle. The girls screamed and hugged him tighter. But the cloak was powerful. It did not slow down. They flew far away. Aiden looked back. The red light suddenly stopped. Then the sky went quiet. A giant blade appeared in the sky. It was as big as a mountain. An explosion shook the ground. The shock wave hit them. Aiden struggled to stay in the air. Vespera shouted happily, "My father is here! We are safe!" John heard this and relaxed, but he lost his grip. He fell straight down. Without John's weight, the cloak became unstable. Aiden fell to the ground with the two girls. It was a soft landing, but it was awkward. Aiden's left hand landed on Vespera's chest. His right hand was on Vivi's behind. Vespera quickly stood up. Vivi turned completely red. She quietly moved Aiden's hand away. She was 18 years old and a level 15 genius, but right now she was extremely embarrassed. Aiden quickly pulled his hands back. He was embarrassed too, but it was an accident. Vespera tried to stay calm. "We can rest now, then we leave the abyss." Vivi stood up and kept her head down. "Yes, my father is fighting. We will be safe." Aiden looked at the distant fight. The shockwave of the battle was terrifying. If he had stayed there, he would be dead. Suddenly, Vespera looked at Aiden. "Thank you. You saved our lives. The Wexley family owes you a favor." Vivi quickly added, "You saved me too. Come to the Taylor family if you need anything." John walked over. He pulled out a black card. "The Hawthorne Family Trading Company is mine. Take this black card. We will help you anytime." Aiden was surprised. He knew these families. Vespera's father was the head of the Reclasser Association. Vivi's family was connected to the legendary war god, Taylor James. And John's family owned a massive trading company, but Aiden did not take the card. "I saved you, and you helped me kill the boss. We are even." Vespera shook her head. "You could have left us. We will remember this favor. By the way, what is your name?" Aiden stared at them and said calmly, "Aiden." He did not care about these geniuses. With his 1,000-fold critical hit system, he would soon surpass everyone before the college testing. John looked at Aiden with deep curiosity. "Aiden, what is your class and level? Your skills were too strong." Vespera and Vivi also listened closely. Aiden replied flatly, "Just a regular magic apprentice." John was confused. He whispered to Vespera, "What level is that? Is it a legendary class?" Vespera stood frozen in shock. She recovered and said, "It is the basic, weakest iron rank." John froze. An iron rank could use a level 40 boss's freezing skills and strike down the flame demon? It was impossible. Aiden must be joking. Aiden saw their disbelief and felt helpless. He really was just a level 10 magic apprentice. But he had no time to explain. "I have things to do. We will meet again if we are lucky." He wanted to go back to the White City. He had to submit his class change task. Before they could speak, Aiden activated his exit. He vanished. Vivi reached out and shouted, "Wait!" But he was already gone. Vespera hit her own head in regret. "I forgot to ask him about Oslu's heart. Epic demons' hearts are so rare." Then she noticed Vivi staring blankly at the empty space. "What is wrong?" Vivi swallowed hard. Aiden was not joking. "My class can track precise information." "He really is a level 10 magic apprentice." Vespera and John gasped. "A level 10 iron rank killed a level 40 abyss boss?" Vespera took a deep breath. "He must be a hidden genius from a secret powerful family. We can use his abyss pass to find him in the real world." She looked down at her chest. Her face turned slightly red. Meanwhile, in the Starlight store of the White City. Lunara stared at her phone. She was watching a viral video of a mysterious genius. She whispered, "He used an epic realm pass. I hope he is safe." Suddenly, a light flashed. Aiden appeared right in front of her. He looked completely fine, without a single scratch. Lunara's eyes widened. "Mr. Aiden?" But Aiden did not stop. He walked past her and headed straight for the Reclasser Association. Lunara was disappointed, but she quickly followed him. Aiden entered the main hall of the Reclasser Association. Suddenly, he stopped. Kale and Elira were standing nearby. Kale was smiling confidently at Elira. "Do not worry. My father sent a level 30 expert to protect us. In 1 week, we will reach level 10 and take the class change quest." Elira was about to reply when she saw Aiden. She quickly looked away, feeling uneasy. Kale noticed her gaze and turned. He sneered when he saw Aiden. "Well, look who it is. Magic Apprentice Aiden. What are you doing here? With your weak iron rank, a wild monster could easily kill you. How about this? Beg me, and I might let you follow us to get some easy experience." Aiden smiled faintly. "Thanks for your concern. But tell me, is your Dragonlight Guild about to fall apart soon?" Kale laughed out loud. "Fall apart? Ridiculous. Our guild is about to become famous across the entire region." Aiden looked at him with mockery. Elira walked up to Aiden, looking serious. "Aiden, strength is everything in this world. Did you come here to win me back? It is too late. I have decided to go with Kale." Aiden looked at her coldly. "Your choices have nothing to do with me. And do not be so full of yourself. I am here to submit my class change quest." Kale and Elira froze. Submit a class change quest? That required level 10. How could an iron rank magic apprentice level up so fast? Aiden ignored their shocked faces. He walked past them toward the registration desk. Aiden walked to the registration desk and looked at the staff member. "Hello, I am here to submit my class change quest." Tina, the staff member, quickly looked up. She recognized his voice. "Mr. Aiden, have you completed the class change quest already?" She was shocked. He had only taken the quest yesterday. It had been less than a day. Suddenly, Kale shouted from behind, "Stop pretending, Aiden. There is no way you leveled up that fast." Kale walked up to the desk and looked at Tina. "Miss, ignore this liar. He has gone crazy thinking he is some kind of genius." Elira also stepped forward, staring at Aiden with disappointment. "Aiden, are you really doing all this just to get my attention?" Aiden sighed. These two were truly annoying. Tina frowned and looked at Kale and Elira. "This is the Reclasser Association. Please keep quiet." She quickly checked the system. Suddenly her face went pale. She froze. Kale saw her face and smiled, thinking Aiden was caught. He tried to inspect Aiden's level, but all he saw were question marks. Suddenly, Kale had a bad feeling. Tina swallowed hard and said, "Mr. Aiden, your quest was to enter the Abyss and defeat a level 10 Abyss boss." Kale and Elira gasped. "Who gets a class change quest in the Abyss? Only top-tier geniuses from legendary families." Aiden replied calmly, "I know, the quest is complete." He had actually killed a level 40 boss, but he kept that to himself. Tina nodded quickly. "Please wait. I will prepare your badge. If you have any items to boost your class rank, use them before you absorb the badge." Elira could not believe it. She was only level 2, and he was already level 10. She shouted, "This must be a system error. Double check it." Tina ignored her and handed the badge to Aiden with both hands. "Sir, your badge is ready." Aiden did not take it yet. "Is your president here?" Tina replied, "He is out, but he said to call him back immediately if you need him." Aiden said, "Call him back." Then he turned to Kale and Elira. "Step aside. I do not have time to play games with you." Elira's legs went weak and she almost fell. Kale clenched his fists and growled, "So what if you leveled up fast? Your class is useless." "Once I reach level 7, I will crush you." Aiden smiled. Kyle's words gave him an idea. He could ask the president to block the Dragonlight Guild's funding. "Thanks for the reminder. You will have a big surprise soon." Aiden then followed Tina to the president's office. Outside, Elira watched him leave and muttered, "I am a diamond rank. My potential is stronger. You will regret this, Aiden." Meanwhile, in the crowd, Lunara watched Aiden with shining eyes. He had survived the Abyss without a single scratch. He was definitely from a top family. She thought, I must find a way to get closer to him. Inside the office, Tina wanted to impress Aiden. She adjusted her short skirt, revealing her long legs and black stockings. She poured him tea, blushed, and walked out. Aiden opened his eyes. With his high spirit stats, he noticed everything. He pulled out the epic demon's heart, but he did not know how to use it. Do you swallow it? Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. President Lucian's voice came from outside. Mr. Aiden, may I come in? Aiden said, come in. Lucian pushed the door open. Instantly, his smile froze. He stared at the epic demon's heart in Aiden's hand, completely speechless. Lucian was the most experienced professional in the White City, but the epic demon's heart in Aiden's hand made his lips tremble. He almost tripped over the sofa. Aiden looked at him. It is just a demon's heart. Why are you so excited? Lucian's voice shook. Excited? This is an epic demon's heart. Lucian sat down, unable to take his eyes off the heart. He explained the danger. Killing an epic-level noble demon of Viscount rank or higher was a nightmare. Before they die, they release a deadly curse. If a reclasser carries this curse, demon masters in the abyss will hunt them down forever. Normally, even high-level reclassers avoid killing them. An epic demon's heart meant someone had risked everything. It was incredibly valuable. Of course, Aiden did not care about the curse. He had 1,000 of these hearts in his storage. Aiden asked, what is the best way to use this? Lucian replied, if you just eat it, you will lose some power. An alchemist should make it into an enhancement potion first. Before Lucian could even finish his sentence, Aiden took a big bite of the heart. It tasted sour and sweet, melting in his mouth like fruit. A notification appeared before his eyes. System notification. You used an epic demon heart. Class change success rate increased to 45%. Aiden was surprised. Without this heart, his chance of a tier upgrade was only 0.05%. Thankfully, he had his system. Lucian looked incredibly upset. He cried out, what a waste, Mr. Aiden. You should have made a potion first. But Aiden ignored him. He pulled out a second epic demon's heart and took another bite. Lucian's mouth dropped open. He was completely speechless. He had 2 of them. Then, Aiden pulled out a third epic demon's heart. Lucian closed his eyes in pure shock. This was the terrifying wealth of a top-tier family. With just one of these, Lucian could have upgraded his own profession. His diamond rank Dragon Knight could have reached Starlight rank. Aiden asked, are there any bad side effects from eating too many? Lucian shook his head blankly. Probably not. No one else is rich enough to eat them like apples. Aiden smiled. His upgrade probability was now 100%. He decided to find a hotel to absorb his new badge and rest. But first, he had to deal with the Dragonlight Guild. He briefly explained the situation to Lucian. Lucian did not hesitate. He agreed to help immediately. He asked carefully, how did they offend you? They will definitely ask for an explanation. Aiden simply said, Kale. Lucian understood instantly. Kale was an arrogant paladin who relied on his guild to bully others. This time, he had messed with the wrong person. Aiden said, thanks. Once this is settled, I will gift you an epic demon's heart. Lucian's eyes went wide. Another one? He swallowed hard. As long as I am here, the Dragonlight Guild will not get a single penny. Anyone who offends you in this city is my enemy. Aiden nodded in satisfaction. As he walked toward the door, he suddenly remembered something. Oh, one more thing. I killed a national-class red-flagged boss in the Abyss called the Flame Demon Oslu. The system says I need to go to the Sovereign City headquarters to get the reward. But that is too much trouble. Lucian almost fell off his chair again. A national-class red-flagged boss, level 40? He pinched his own face to make sure he was not dreaming. Lucian said quickly, I will handle it. The mayor is in the Sovereign City right now. I will have him collect it for you. After Aiden left, Lucian laughed out loud. As the local chairman, reporting this kill would bring him massive credit, maybe even a promotion. He picked up the phone to call the Dragonlight Guild, but another call came in first. He answered, nodding repeatedly. His face became serious. When the call ended, he muttered, The Sovereign City Reclasser Association is sending their vice president here. It must be because of Aiden. Lucian did not waste time. He immediately called Ronald, the leader of the Dragonlight Guild. Ronald's anxious voice came through. "Chairman Lucian, is there any update on our materials and refunds?" Lucian replied coldly, "Updates? Ronald, your son messed with someone he shouldn't have. You are not getting a single material, or a single penny back." Aiden left the Reclasser Association. Upgrading his professional tier was too important. He could not afford any distractions. He walked toward the most expensive hotel in the White City. As he approached the entrance to book a presidential suite, he spotted Kale. Kale was running nervously down the street toward the Dragonlight Guild. Aiden smiled lightly to himself. Is Lucian moving that fast? Money and a rare epic demon's heart could make anyone move mountains. This was only the beginning. Aiden couldn't wait to see Kale's face. When he realized his guild was ruined, and his proud epic paladin class was crushed by a mere magic apprentice. Inside the Dragonlight Guild hall, Ronald was breathing heavily, trying to control his explosive rage. Kale rushed in, looking completely lost. "Father, what is going on? Why did you call me back?" Kale had just been about to start leveling up in the wild with Elira. Then his father called, screaming at him to return immediately. Ronald walked straight up to Kale. Smack! A loud slap echoed through the hall. Kale's cheek swelled instantly. He held his face in utter shock. Ronald roared, "How many times have I told you not to provoke people you shouldn't? The guild's money is gone. The diamond rank materials are gone. What did you do?" Before Kale could answer, Ronald slapped him again. Kale fell to the floor, terrified. "Father, I didn't provoke anyone. I don't know what happened." Ronald kicked him in the stomach. "The deposits are stuck. The guild is ruined, and you expect me to believe you?" Kale wanted to cry. He had done nothing but chase Elira lately. "Don't hit me. We need to find a way to solve this." Ronald took a deep breath to calm down. "Lucian gave me a tip. The vice president of the Sovereign City Association and some elite geniuses are coming tomorrow. The mayor is hosting a welcome banquet for the top students and powerful families. The owner of those diamond materials will be there. You must apologize to them, or our guild is finished." Kale nodded quickly, terrified of his father's anger. Ronald helped Kale up and sighed. "This is also a chance. If you can get close to those Sovereign City geniuses, it will save the guild. As for Elira, she is nothing compared to them." Ronald paused, then added, "Bring Elira with you tomorrow night. You will see what I mean. In a luxury hotel presidential suite, costing 100,000 gold a night." Aiden sat down. He pulled out his profession badge and chose to absorb it. A cool energy flowed into his mind. System notification. Class change complete. You can level up again. Professional upgrade unlocked. Choose your path. The system gave him two choices. Option 1. Become a platinum rank dark mage and gain the skill Darkness Mastery. Option 2. Keep his current class, upgrade it to platinum rank, and obtain the special skill Apprentice's Heart. Aiden frowned at the first option. Dark classes were often rejected by universities and associated with evil guilds, but his eyes lit up at the second option. A platinum rank magic apprentice? With his 1,000-fold critical hit system, he could easily get more demons' hearts later. He chose option 2. A bright white light exploded around him. When Aiden opened his status panel, everything had changed. His class had evolved into a platinum rank magic apprentice. And then, he saw his new ability. Apprentice's Heart, a terrifying skill, one that allowed him to burn EXP points in exchange for random stat growth. And the more EXP he spent, Aiden cursed out loud. Shit. This was a god-tier skill. For others, experience was too rare to waste. But Aiden had collected hundreds of millions of experience points. The only catch was the randomness. It was a lottery. Aiden decided to test his luck. He threw in 1 million experience points. The skill activated. System notification. 1 million EXP consumed. Stats increased. Aiden cursed again. Damn, this is so unfair. 1 million EXP for only 11 stat points? But he wasn't going to stop. He decided to go big. He poured in 10 million experience points. The skill activated once more. Aiden's heart raced as a powerful energy surged through him. Aiden uses his special skill, Apprentice's Heart. The cost, 10 million experience points. The notification logs instantly pop up. He gains 300 strength, 200 constitution, 40 spirit, and 100 agility. The goddess of luck is smiling at him. That is a total of 640 stat points, all from just 10 million experience. Aiden has hundreds of millions of experience points stored up. So he decides to keep pushing. A normal magic apprentice only gets 1 stat point per level. Epic classes get 100. Legendary and mythic classes get even more. But with Apprentice's heart, Aiden can completely crush every high-tier class in the world. He burns through his experience points rapidly, but his excited smile quickly fades. The logs show his luck running out. One turn gives him only 30 strength and 30 constitution. Another gives him 40 strength and 80 constitution. The absolute worst attempt costs him 10 million experience points, but rewards him with a pathetic 3 strength, 5 constitution, and 2 agility. Aiden takes a deep breath. He stops after spending most of his stash, leaving himself with exactly 100 million experience points. He checks his raw attributes. He now has 801 strength, 611 constitution, 425 spirit, and 433 agility. His total stats reach a terrifying 2,270 points. Even the epic paladin Kale would only have half of that at level 10. Aiden smiles in satisfaction. He mutters to himself, "With 800 strength, am I even a magic apprentice anymore?" He decides to use his remaining 100 million experience to level up. He pumps the points into his platinum rank magic apprentice class. The levels skip instantly. 11, 12, 15, all the way to level 20. The system suddenly locks his progress, telling him he must complete his second-class change mission to go further. It took less than a minute. Meanwhile, the arrogant Elira is still sitting at level 2. Aiden thinks about the upcoming college testing. With his 10,000 times critical hit system, he aims for the absolute top university in the country. He leaves the hotel and heads straight back to the White City Reclasser Association. Inside the building, he immediately hears a screeching, familiar voice. It is his old teacher, May. She is screaming at the receptionist, Tina, demanding her missing teaching reward. Tina tries to calm her down, but May just scoffs and barks. "My time is valuable. The top students, Kale and Elira, are my students. Even the city government invited me to a grand dinner tomorrow." "Hurry up!" Tina whispers an update to her, and May beams with pride. She turns to leave, but bumps right into Aiden. Her smile turns into a look of pure disgust. She sneers at him. "Are you regretting your choices? Wanting your student status back?" She calls him a useless loser, someone who will stay at the bottom of society forever. Tina stands frozen behind the desk, terrified. She knows that even Chairman Lucien bows to Aiden. Before Tina can intervene, Aiden speaks calmly. "People like you are beyond help." He walks right past May to stand in front of Tina, but May follows him, bragging loudly about her upcoming promotion. Aiden finally snaps. He turns around and releases a cold, suffocating killer aura, the same aura he gathered from slaughtering monsters in the abyss. May turns deathly pale, feeling like a vicious beast is staring her down. She shuts her mouth instantly and runs out of the building in absolute terror. Tina sighs in relief. She praises Aiden's restraint, noting that May definitely isn't getting promoted anymore, but Aiden ignores the gossip and says, "I'm here to claim the class change mission." Tina freezes, her eyes widening in utter shock. She stammers nervously. "Are you here for the second-class change mission?" Aiden nods. Tina quickly prepares the crystal ball. Assuming Aiden is a hidden genius from a supreme noble family, Aiden crushes the crystal. The system screens flash wildly. The system notes his unbelievable speed and gives him a much harder task. The notification reads, "Kill a level 30 Abyss Noble Demon boss to unlock the limit." Aiden frowns. The mission requires him to re-enter the Abyss, but he is still carrying the demon curse. Entering now will alert every high-level demon nearby. As he debates whether to clear the curse first, loud footsteps echo through the hall. Lysander rushes in, covered in black ash with bloodshot eyes. He spots Aiden and screams, "Mr. Aiden, I did it! I forged an epic-level equipment!" Aiden freezes for a second. Then he realizes what just happened. He gave Lysander 1,000 Iron Dragon materials earlier. The man actually finished forging the weapon already. Aiden grabs Lysander's shaking shoulders. He looks at him and says, "Stay calm." Lysander stops shouting. He takes a deep breath, trying to control his overwhelming emotions. Forging high-tier gear is his ultimate dream, and it has finally come true. Tina quickly rushes out from behind the front desk. She leads them straight into a private VIP room. The moment the door closes, Lysander bursts into tears. He grabs Aiden's arm and cries out, "Mr. Aiden, you are my savior. I never thought I would forge an epic-level equipment." He tearfully reveals his painful past. He made a massive mistake in the Sovereign City. He felt too ashamed to face his master, and fled to this small town in disgrace. Now, this epic weapon is his ultimate redemption. Aiden listens patiently. Without interrupting him once, Lysander finally wipes his tears. He pulls out a glowing piece of gear from his storage space. The Iron Dragon Wings. It is an epic-grade flying item. It grants 1,800 agility, 1,500 constitution, 10,000 extra health, and boosts physical defense by 25%. It even allows for a high-speed magical burst sprint. Aiden's eyes light up with excitement. He lacks mobility skills, and as a ranged caster, getting caught in close combat is fatal. This gear completely covers his biggest weakness. Aiden grins and says, "Good, really good." Lysander watches Aiden's calm face. He feels a deep wave of respect. Aiden isn't even jumping for joy. To him, an epic item is clearly nothing special. This is the true confidence of a supreme noble genius. Lysander bows deeply and says, "Mr. Aiden, there are 33 Iron Dragon materials left. Please take them back." Aiden waves his hand dismissively. He tells him, "No need to give them back. You can handle them yourself." Investing in a master artisan is a brilliant move. Giving him a few leftovers is a small price to pay for future legendary gear. Suddenly, Aiden remembers his broken staff, the one from the flame demon Oslu. Lysander pats his chest confidently. He claims he can fix anything now, but the moment Aiden pulls out the broken weapon, Lysander completely chokes on his words. Legendary rank! The staff is a strategic level weapon. Lysander's hands shake violently. He pushes the weapon back toward Aiden, terrified he might drop it. Aiden just smiles, but he places the weapon firmly back in the artisan's hands. Lysander stares at the masterpiece and murmurs, "Perfect! It's like a work of art. Mr. Aiden, I am not skilled enough for this, but I can call my master here." He reveals his teacher as Sean, the strongest artificer in the Sovereign City, a man respected by the Empress herself. Aiden smiles. His plan is working perfectly. He then asks him, "By the way, do you know how to remove the Abyss Demon's curse?" Lysander looks confused. He notes that the Sovereign City Reclasser Association can clear it. He nervously asks if Aiden is cursed. Aiden replies casually, "I killed a level 40 Abyss Demon boss." Lysander freezes. He nearly drops the legendary staff. He panics, pulls out his phone, and makes a hurried call to his master. He hangs up and says, "Mr. Aiden, my master will arrive tomorrow night. He will meet you at the city dinner party." Aiden frowns, remembering Teacher May mentioned a dinner party earlier. Lysander explains that the vice president of the Sovereign City Association will also be there. Aiden can ask him directly about the curse. Aiden takes his staff back and returns to his hotel to rest. The next morning, Aiden visits the Starlight store to buy a frontline tank pet, but the quality is just too trash. The clerk, Lunara, gives him a very strange look, but he completely ignores it. He searches all morning, finding absolutely nothing. By evening, the entire city comes alive. The local elite gather in front of the most luxurious hotel, dressed in their absolute finest clothes. Ronald, the leader of the Dragonlight Guild, stands proudly at the front with Kale and Elira. Kale smiles arrogantly at Elira and says, "This is the world of the upper class. If you had stayed with Aiden, you would never be here." Elira stays completely silent, nervously adjusting her elegant black evening dress. She looks stunning, but Ronald secretly thinks she is nothing. Nothing compared to the true geniuses of the capital. Meanwhile, Guildmaster Lucian and Lysander pace back and forth near the entrance, sweating heavily with anxiety. They know the real star of the night hasn't arrived yet. Suddenly, a figure walks up to the entrance. The entire crowd turns to look. Kale spots him and bursts into a loud, mocking laugh. He barks at him. Aiden, what are you doing here? Do you even belong here? People are whispering in the crowd. Today is a special dinner, reserved for elite guests from the sovereign city. But Aiden, he is dressed very casually. Someone asks who he is. Kale from the Dragonlight Guild loudly reveals his name, but nobody knows him. They soon find out his class, the absolute weakest, iron rank magic apprentice. He even got kicked out of school. The guests whisper in wonder. Why is a loser like him here? They think he is just trying to watch the show. Lucian hears the whispers and instantly breaks out in a cold sweat. He respects Aiden completely and absolutely does not want to get dragged into trouble. Lucian turns around and shouts angrily, "Shut up!" The crowd immediately stops talking. They look at Lucian in the total confusion. Aiden slowly walks forward. Lucian and Lysander want to bow, but Aiden gently waves his hand. He looks straight at Coil's swollen face. Aiden smiles and says, "I thought it was a pig's head, but it's actually Kale." Kale gets completely furious. His swollen face makes him look even more embarrassing. He glares at Aiden and spits. "Get out! This is not a place for someone like you." Kale still thinks an iron rank class is completely worthless. Even at level 10, Aiden's stats must be absolutely terrible. Kale smiles coldly and says, "Elira giving up on you was the right choice." He tells Aiden to go hide in the sewers with the trash. Elira walks up and sighs. She looks at him and says, "Aiden, I heard what happened yesterday. You went to beg Teacher May for another chance." Suddenly, Teacher May steps out from the high-class crowd. She shouts for everyone to hear. "Yes, he even threatened me yesterday. Aiden, you are the biggest shame of my life." The crowd turns to look at May. She stands proudly, soaking in all the attention. People whisper among themselves, saying May will become a top official soon. Because she taught genius students like Kale and Elira, they actually feel sorry for her. Sorry that she had to deal with a loser like Aiden. May looks at Aiden with fake pity. She says, "Don't be stubborn. Leave quickly, you can still live a normal life." Aiden faces their insults and just smiles confidently. He says, "When the Lord wants to destroy someone, he first makes them arrogant. I actually admire how stupid you all are." Aiden keeps walking and steps right behind Lucian. Lucian starts trembling violently. He feels absolutely terrified to stand in front of Aiden. Lucian wants to move back, but Aiden whispers, "No, it's just about the order." Lucian freezes. He turns and glares at Kale, Elira, and May, his eyes filled with pure anger. These idiots are trying to ruin him. The clueless crowd thinks Aiden just got lucky, that he somehow got close to the guildmaster, but May feels a sudden flash of worry. She turns and asks Elira, "Are Aiden and Guildmaster Lucian related?" Elira shakes her head. She says he never mentioned it. Kale quickly tells them not to worry, because a weak iron rank can't possibly have real connections. Elira laughs coldly and says, "He will only feel the painful gap between himself and real geniuses." But Ronald, the leader of the Dragonlight Guild, he senses something is terribly wrong. Lucian would never be this kind to a random person. Ronald tries to walk over, but Lucian gives him a sharp, warning look. The message is crystal clear. Stay away. Ronald gets angry. His guild is incredibly powerful, yet he is being treated like a total outsider, all because of Aiden. Suddenly, Leo, the leader of the Warrior Lord Guild, approaches, walking right toward Aiden with his daughter, Selena. Leo bows respectfully and says, "Mr. Aiden, hello. I am the leader of the Warrior Lord Guild." Selena looks stunning in her elegant dress. She winks playfully and says, "Hey, cutie. We've met before, right?" Aiden remembers her immediately. She offered to team up with him before. He simply nods and says, "Hello, Mr. Leo." Kale and May are completely shocked. Why is Leo treating Aiden so nicely? May thinks Aiden is being incredibly rude by just nodding. She fully expects Leo to explode in anger. Instead, Leo breaks into a massive, happy smile. He starts talking to Aiden very warmly, trying his absolute best to please him. Aiden remains completely calm and natural. May is losing her mind. Why is a powerful guild leader trying to please a weak student? Suddenly, the entire crowd goes dead silent. A massive luxury car pulls up. The mayor of the White City, Randy, gets out. He looks around anxiously. He spots Aiden in the crowd and runs over immediately. He holds out his hand and practically shouts, "Mr. Aiden, hello. I am Mayor Randy." Aiden is slightly surprised. Lucien quickly whispers an explanation. Aiden saved the city by killing a national-class boss, the mayor says quickly. "Thank you for your incredible contribution to our country." Everyone in the crowd freezes in shock. Why is the mayor thanking a useless Iron Rank student? Ronald feels a sudden, terrifying wave of dread. Before anyone can even speak, several immensely powerful figures land from the sky. Luke, the deputy director of the Reclasser Association, Vespera from the ultra-wealthy Wexley family, Vivi from the powerful Taylor military family, and John from the massive Hawthorne business group. The crowd stops breathing. These are the absolute most powerful people. From the sovereign city itself. Mayor Randy quickly steps forward to greet them, but Luke suddenly moves aside. A 10-year-old girl steps forward, smiling brightly and waving. Luke speaks with deep, unwavering respect. "The Imperial Royal Family's little princess has arrived." The doors burst open. The crowd gasped. The Empire's most beloved princess walked in. She completely ignored the shock filling the room. Instead of waiting for a bow, Princess Kelsey waved her hand. She ran straight toward Aiden with a massive smile. "You're the Aiden that Vespera's sister always talks about, right?" Kelsey asked. Vespera quickly coughed twice. Her face turned slightly red. Aiden simply smiled. He looked at the princess like a cute little girl. Luke, the vice chairman of the association, quickly stepped in. He needed to break the tension. "Your Highness, it's windy outside. Let's head into the banquet hall," Luke suggested. Kelsey nodded, suddenly looking hungry. She asked Aiden to show her the local food. Aiden couldn't refuse. He led the princess inside. Luke, Vespera, and the city's highest officials followed closely behind. Behind them, Kale, Elira, and May stood completely frozen. Their feet felt like lead. Kale clenched his fists in pure rage. He was the strongest genius in the city, but everyone was ignoring him for an Iron Rank apprentice. Elira was lost in despair. She realized she was nothing compared to the beautiful girls from the sovereign city. Meanwhile, Teacher May was shaking with regret. She had kicked Aiden out of school, and now her entire career was in danger. Suddenly, Mayor Randy turned around. His eyes flashed with pure anger. May had messed up, and he knew everything. Randy called out, "Teacher May, don't just stand there. Come inside." May smiled nervously. She completely missed the anger hidden in his eyes. Inside the grand hall, elegant music played. But no one cared about the food or the wine. Every noble in the city was listening closely to the center of the room. Vespera bowed slightly to Aiden. She apologized for chasing him all the way from the sovereign city. She took a deep breath. And finally, she revealed her true goal. "I want to buy the heart of the flame demon Oslu from you," Vespera said. Aiden paused. An epic-level demon's heart meant absolutely nothing to him. He had hundreds of them. He was just about to agree, when suddenly Kale pushed through the crowd with a fake smile. "Good evening, everyone. I am Kale, an epic-class paladin," Kale announced proudly. His face was still swollen like a pig. It completely ruined his elegant act. Vespera frowned. She was deeply annoyed by the interruption. "Sorry, we are discussing something important with Mr. Aiden." "Please leave," Vespera replied coldly. Aiden smirked. He openly mocked him, saying no one cared about a pig's face. Kale snapped. He shouted at Aiden for being rude, but the sovereign city geniuses didn't hold back. Vivi called him stupid. John mocked his fake noble attitude. The entire hall began to whisper and laugh at Kale. The pressure was too much. Kale's mind snapped. He pointed a finger straight at Aiden. "You're all being tricked. He's just a useless Iron Rank apprentice who got kicked out of school," Kyle screamed. The room went dead silent. Mayor Randy and Lucien turned around. Their expressions were furious. "Get out of here!" Lucien shouted. Kyle panicked. He looked at his father, Ronald. Realizing the extreme danger, Ronald forced a smile. He begged for mercy. He told Kale to apologize immediately. Kale stared at Aiden's relaxed face. His pride was completely breaking. He refused to bow down. Kale gritted his teeth. He roared, I won't apologize. You're a liar, Aiden. I will expose your true face to everyone. Aiden smirked at Kale's wild accusation. He was completely unbothered. Okay, let's see what you've got. Kale pointed directly at May, full of confidence. This is Aiden's old teacher, May. She caught him cheating, and instead of repenting, Aiden threatened her. This loser doesn't belong here. Every eye in the hall locked onto May. Mayor Randy stepped forward. His voice was freezing cold. Teacher May, is this true? May gasped for air. She had absolutely no proof. She had just taken Elira's word and accepted her bribe. But if she backed down now, her career was dead. Shaking from head to toe, she lied. Yes, it's true. The room erupted into whispers. Some nobles actually believed the rumor, but Aiden just walked up to her, perfectly calm. Where's the evidence? May froze. Aiden repeated, I said, where is the proof? You can't just make things up. Vespera and Vivi immediately saw through her. They knew Aiden was a beast who killed an abyss boss, but his absolute calmness under pressure truly shocked them. Vivi whispered, a storm in his heart, but a calm face. A true leader. Vespera agreed. Real strength doesn't panic. Luke, the vice president, watched Aiden with growing interest. Mayor Randy couldn't hold back his fury anymore. May, you better have proof. Otherwise, you're going to prison for slandering a city hero. Aiden didn't just kill the Iron Dragon. He single-handedly slaughtered the national-class Red Boss. The flame demon Oslu. May's jaw dropped. A level 40 abyss boss? Killed by an iron apprentice? Absolute despair hit her like a truck. She snapped. She turned on Elira like a wild animal. It was you! You told me he cheated. You gave me that damage potion to expel him. It's all your fault, Elira panicked as the crowd stared at her in disgust. No, I was just suspicious. May was the one who expelled him without checking. May went completely insane. She lunged forward. She grabbed Elira by the hair. She ripped her elegant black dress to shreds. You bitch! You ruined me. If it wasn't for you, I'd be the teacher of a national hero. The guards rushed in. They dragged the screaming May away. Elira stood there shivering. She looked at Aiden with tearful eyes. Aiden, please, I was wrong. Forgive me. Aiden ignored her completely. He turned his gaze to Kale. Kale was frozen in pure shock. Anything else? Oh, by the way, those diamond rank materials your guild is desperate to buy? They're mine. Kale felt like he was struck by lightning. Everything made sense now. His father beating him up. The surprise Aiden promised. It was all because of Aiden. Ronald, the leader of Dragonlight Guild, lost his mind. He kicked Kale hard in the leg. He forced him to his knees right in front of Aiden. Ronald forced a fake smile, sweating profusely. Mr. Aiden, it's my fault for not raising him right. I'll make him apologize. He slapped Kale's head. Apologize, you idiot. Kale was completely broken, the top genius of the city, kneeling before an iron rank apprentice. He bit his lip. His voice sounded hollow. I shouldn't have done it. Aiden leaned down. He whispered directly into his ear. Shouldn't have done what? You're only apologizing because you're trapped. You hate me, right? You want to kill me. Ronald frantically tried to excuse his son, but Aiden ignored him completely. He looked down at the broken genius, and he delivered the final blow. You always thought I was useless. So, I'll give you a chance. A life or death duel. Right here, right now, with this useless guy. Do you have the guts? Kale snapped his head up. His fists clenched so hard they bled. His eyes burned with pure, unhidden hatred. You could literally hear a needle drop. On the floor, May was pinned down, her face twisted in broken regret. Elira stood trembling in her ripped dress. She looked like a total mess. Kale remained on his knees. He was staring at Aiden with pure, murderous hatred. Kale, stay strong. Reject the duel, Ronald whispered desperately to his son. We will get him later. Aiden noticed the whispering. He let out a dark, mocking smile. See? Even your own father knows you'll lose. Aiden knew the truth. If you don't pull out the grass by its roots, it just grows back stronger. Kale was a permanent enemy now. Leaving him alive inside the safe zone would only bring future trouble. Outside the city walls, it was the survival of the fittest. Aiden hadn't forgotten the bandits who ambushed him on day one. A life-or-death duel right here was the perfect solution. It was the perfect way to eliminate the threat permanently. An epic profession gets 100 stat points per level. That's supposed to be strong, right? Aiden mocked slowly. Kale's chest heaved. His pride completely snapped. You're just a garbage iron rank. High-tier professions are the future of humanity. Aiden, I accept. Let's have a life-or-death duel. Ronald's face turned completely pale. He stumbled backward in absolute horror. Did his idiot son just challenge a monster? A monster who soloed a national-class boss? Suddenly, Luke stepped between them. Young man, you are blind. A high-tier job doesn't guarantee true strength. Even a legendary genius from the Sovereign City once betrayed the Empire for demons. Luke then turned to Aiden. His tone became incredibly serious. An epic profession is still a rare asset for humanity. It would be a shame for him to die here. Kale's eyes widened. The fight hadn't even started, and the vice chairman was already saying he would die. Aiden looked at Luke, completely unbothered. That's my business. Luke shook his head. He leaned in close. He whispered a few words into Aiden's ear. Aiden paused. He thought it over. And then he slowly nodded. Luke turned back to Kale and Ronald. You're done here. Consider yourselves lucky you met me. Vespera, Vivi, and John looked at Kale with pure pity. Ronald frantically bowed, thanking Luke over and over. Kale, still completely clueless, gritted his teeth. Even if my level is low, there's no way a trash iron rank can beat me. Luke sighed at his sheer ignorance. You fool. Aiden is carrying multiple epic items. Even his base stats are higher than yours will ever be at level 10. The entire crowd gasped. Multiple epic items? Base stats higher than an epic paladin at level 10? The nobles began to whisper in pure panic. They were convinced Aiden was a hidden heir from a supreme sovereign city family. Hearing this, May stopped struggling entirely. She stared at the floor in absolute despair. If she hadn't listened to Alira, she would be the teacher of a literal god-tier genius, national champion, global glory. All of it was gone. She screamed like a total lunatic. Alira, you bitch! You ruined my life. Alira didn't even argue. She looked at Aiden. He was now casually chatting with the beautiful, powerful girls of the top families. Regret ate her alive. If she hadn't broken up with him, if she hadn't been so arrogant, she would be standing right next to him. I'm sorry. I was so wrong, she muttered to herself. But to Aiden, she was already a total stranger. Are you sure you don't need the epic demon's heart for yourself, Aiden? Vespera asked. Her eyes were sparkling with excitement. Are you giving it up just for Vespera? Princess Kelsey teased with a grin. Aiden just shook his head. They had absolutely no idea. He had over 900 of them. Suddenly, Lysander ran over. He was sweating with pure excitement. Mr. Aiden, my teacher has arrived. John's eyes snapped toward Lysander. He finally recognized him. Master Lysander, you're in the White City? Lysander waved it off immediately. I'm no master. I brought shame to my teacher. I'm just thankful Mr. Aiden gave me a second chance. John quickly whispered the teacher's identity to Vespera and Vivi. Their jaws dropped instantly. Lysander's teacher was Sean, the strongest artificer in the Sovereign City, a man respected even by the Empress herself. Luke, let's go outside and greet Master Sean, Kelsey shouted. She pulled up her skirt, ready to run. No need to come out, Kelsey. A booming voice echoed through the grand hall. A massive old man walked in, over 2 meters tall, with a thick white beard and a powerful build. Kelsey instantly ran over, smiling sweetly. Sean, I missed you so much. Sean smiled and patted her head. He tossed her a glittering diamond rank necklace, like it was a cheap toy. Always a sweet talker. Take this to play with. The local nobles nearly fainted on the spot, handing out diamond rank gear as a casual gift. Luke bowed deeply. Vespera, Vivi, and John followed immediately. Lysander stepped forward. His eyes were red with tears. Disciple Lysander greets master. Sean sighed, looking at his old student. I heard you can forge epic gear now. Have you finally understood the lesson from back then? Epic gear? The crowd was completely losing their minds. Lysander could forge epic items? And he was working for Aiden? Before anyone could process the shock, Sean turned his sharp eyes directly onto Aiden. So, you're the Aiden he told me about. Where is that broken legendary staff? The silence in the room became heavy. A legendary rank staff? Mayor Randy stammered. He was completely unable to believe his ears. In a small town like the White City, even an epic item was a myth. Now, everyone stared at Aiden in absolute shock. Vespera, Vivi, and Princess Kelsey couldn't look away. Items of this tier were nation-ranking treasures. The Empress herself ruled the Empire using a legendary scepter. Princess Kelsey stared at Aiden. She completely lost interest in her new diamond necklace. "Who exactly is he?" she muttered. "To carry a legendary item? He must be from one of those ancient hidden families." Vespera felt a massive headache coming on. She wanted to buy the epic demon's heart, but what could she possibly offer? What could she offer a guy who already owned a legendary weapon? Meanwhile, Kale was completely broken. He stared blankly into space. He was shaking his head like a lunatic. "Legendary? A garbage iron apprentice has a legendary weapon? I'm dreaming. Elira, tell me this is a fake dream." Elira could only offer a bitter, miserable smile. She felt like an ugly duckling standing among royal swans. The crushing regret suffocated her. If she could go back in time, she would rather die than break up with Aiden. But looking at Vespera and Vivi, she realized the brutal truth. Only elite noble girls from the sovereign city were worthy of him now. Yet, a dark obsession grew in her heart. She wasn't ready to let him go. Ignoring the drama, Aiden calmly pulled out the broken flame demon staff. He handed it directly to Sean. "How do we fix this?" Sean's eyes went wide. He instantly appeared right in front of Aiden. He examined the weapon with pure fascination. "Incredible craftsmanship. Give me 1 month, and I will fully restore it." "A month?" Aiden frowned. That felt way too long. In a month, his broken skills would reset anyway. Sean noticed the frown, and he instantly panicked. Normally, anyone would be crying tears of joy, but Aiden looked completely annoyed. Sean quickly added, 1 month max. I'll use my own rarest materials. I'll charge you absolutely nothing, and I promise you free weapon forging for life. Just bring the raw materials." Vespera and the others gasped in shock. Even the Empress couldn't get Sean to work for free. Aiden thought about it for a second. He casually nodded, handing over the staff. The banquet continued, but May, Elira, Kale, and Ronald slunk away like kicked dogs. They had absolutely no face left to stay. Desperate to seal the deal for the demon's heart, Vespera made an offer Aiden couldn't refuse. She offered a rare baby 6-winged dragon steed from her family's private stables. It was an epic-class mount, a creature unheard of in this remote city. Aiden instantly agreed. Once the deals were done, the local nobles swarmed Aiden like hungry vultures. They were all trying to flatter him. Annoyed by the crowd, Aiden slipped away to the quiet balcony. Deputy Chairman Luke was already there. He was staring silently at the night sky. "That's how people are," Luke said calmly. "They only throw flowers when you're at the top." Aiden nodded, his tone turning serious. "Are we moving tonight?" "Yes," Luke replied. "The college testing is coming up. And the Evil Demons Guild always assassinates young talents around this time. Kale is the perfect bait. His high tier will draw them right out of hiding." Luke patted Aiden's shoulder. "To break your demon curse, you need to sacrifice at least 10 cultists of the same level. That's why I stopped you from killing Kale earlier. We need him alive for the trap." Aiden smirked. It all made perfect sense now. With a powerhouse like Luke backing the operation, the cultists didn't stand a chance. Once the curse was lifted, he could finally finish his class advancement quest. He could finally keep leveling up. "Be careful," Luke warned. "After tonight, your name will spread across the Empire. The cultists will put a massive target on your back. They aren't just strong, they are insane. Your platinum cloaking skill won't hide you from their high-level elites." Luke advised him to use his 600 reputation points instead, to buy an epic camouflage skill. Aiden thanked him, then asked a crucial question. "What does it take to get the #1 spot in the national college testing?" Luke shook his head grimly. "It's brutal. I already know of 2 mythic-level geniuses taking the test. But the Empress raised the grand prize this year. Along with massive wealth, the top scorer gets an epic special item. An item that can literally change a person's luck. Aiden's heart skipped a beat. Change luck. His core skill, Apprentice's heart, relied entirely on luck to multiply his stats. If he could boost his luck, his stat gains would skyrocket to impossible numbers. He had to win that prize at all costs. Mythic reclassers, huh? Aiden muttered. Luke smiled. He had climbed from silver to a level 79 legendary tyrant cleric through decades of blood and sweat, but mythic geniuses were born as gods, favored by the heavens themselves. A dark, chaotic era was coming, and humanity needed those monsters. Suddenly, Luke's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, his eyes turned freezing cold. They're here. Let's move. Aiden took a deep breath. A lethal smile formed on his face. It was time to lift the curse, time to break his limits, and watch Kale die. Late at night, at the edge of the White City wilderness, the wind howled through the quiet trees. No regular reclasser dared to tread here. Kale staggered down the dirt road. He was covered in blood and gasping for air. He gripped his fists, his eyes wild with a desperate hope. "The heavens won't let me die," he muttered. "The vice president gave me a chance. If I can just survive out here until dawn." Suddenly, the rustling of leaves snapped him out of his thoughts. Before he could even yell, a black chain shot out from the dark bushes. It pierced straight through his collarbone. It pinned him ruthlessly to the ground. 4 pale figures stepped into the moonlight. They were led by a man Kale recognized instantly. "Ray!" Kale gasped in horror. Ray grinned. He pulled out a sharp silver-ranked dagger. "Don't worry, Kale. Killing an epic paladin will get me a massive promotion in the Evil Demons Guild. I'll make it quick." "Wait, stop!" Kyle screamed. His pride completely vanished as he begged for his life. "My father helped you guys for years. And there's a guy named Aiden in the city. He soloed the level 40 Abyss boss. I can help you kill him. I'll join the guild. Just don't kill me." Ray licked his lips. "Don't worry. Aiden will join you in hell soon enough." High above the trees, a massive black crow hovered silently. On its back stood Luke, Aiden, and a thin, glasses-wearing young man. His name was Owen. "Luke, Kale is an epic reclasser. Isn't using him as bait a bit risky?" Owen asked quietly. Luke shook his head. He had already suspected Kale's father, Ronald. He knew Ronald was supplying the cultists. Leaving Kale alive at the banquet wasn't mercy. It was a trap to draw the Evil Demons Guild out of hiding, a trap to find their local base. Aiden needed to eliminate 10 cultists of his level to break his demon curse, and this was the perfect opportunity. Down below, Ray raised his dagger. He aimed to pierce Kale's heart, but right before the blade hit, Owen suddenly jumped down from the crow. He drew his weapon. "Evil Demons Guild scum! What are you doing to our city?" he shouted. Ray didn't hesitate. "A trap! Run!" He dropped the chain and bolted into the woods. Kale, bleeding and terrified, scrambled into the thick grass to hide. High above, a massive red magic circle engulfed the entire forest. It was Luke's legendary skill. Deathmatch Arena. Luke crashed into the earth like a meteor. His body expanded to a muscular 3 meters tall. He wielded a giant axe. The raw pressure made the ground shatter. "Owen, what the hell are you doing?" Luke roared. His eyes were bloodshot with pure rage. Owen stumbled back, adjusting his glasses. "Mr. Luke, I was just worried about the city. Besides, letting an epic paladin die is a waste." Luke's veins bulged. Owen's stupid, arrogant interference had ruined everything. The plan was to let the cultists kill Kale, to make them let their guard down, allowing Luke to capture them alive and locate their hideout. Now, the cover was blown. "Despot's realm!" Luke bellowed. Red, snake-like chains erupted from the earth. They instantly bound the fleeing cultists, Kale and Owen, slamming them all down in front of Luke. Without a second thought, Luke swung his massive axe straight at Owen's head. Owen shrieked. His diamond rank gear flashed violently. "Dummy life swap!" The axe obliterated a straw dummy. Owen teleported a few meters away, sweating in sheer terror. Luke's strike had carved a massive trench into the earth. It was dozens of meters long. "Are you insane?" Owen screamed, backed against a tree. "I am from the Ginger family. My grandfather is Felix, the level 90 chief minister of the Empire. If you kill me, you die too. Owen was only a level 55 legendary puppeteer. Against a level 79 tyrant cleric like Luke, he stood zero chance. You arrogant brat, Luke snarled. His arm was shaking with suppressed fury. You ruined a national security operation. Just to play politics and protect your own interests. Aiden slowly floated down, wrapped in his dark cloak. He watched the chaos unfold. Vespera and the others landed right behind him. They were completely stunned by the infighting. Seeing his grandfather's name stop the axe, Owen straightened his coat. His fear vanished. It was replaced by a smug grin. I did nothing wrong. The Abyss is restless, and the Empire needs every epic reclasser it can get. Kale is the future of humanity. Luke spat on the ground. You're just jealous. You wanted Kale alive so he could cause trouble for Aiden, didn't you? You're tracking Vespera, but Aiden only saved her life. They have nothing to do with each other. Owen's smug face twitched. But before he could argue, Aiden stepped forward. Ignoring the political bickering, Aiden quietly drew his staff, pointing it directly at the bound, shivering Kale. Aiden aimed his spell directly at Kale, Thunder's Wrath. Wild lightning surged around and struck Kale down instantly. Someone shouted to stop him, but it was too late. Lightning faded, leaving a blackened body on the ground. Silence filled the area. Owen stared in total shock. Aiden calmly put his staff away and checked his log. Defeating the epic paladin gave him 100,000 experience points, enough for 10 uses of Apprentice's Heart, but Kale dropped nothing. Owen shouted angrily, You killed someone right in front of me. Aiden looked at him calmly. Imperial Law Article 139 states reclassers must fight dangerous groups like the Evil Demons Guild. But Kale was not a member. Aiden turned to Luke. You heard Kale say he wanted to join them, right? Luke nodded. Article 372 allows killing anyone determined to join an extreme evil group. As deputy head of the association, Aiden's action fits the law. Owen had no words left. He could not openly break Imperial law. Luke walked off with 4 captured members for questioning. Owen stepped toward Aiden with a cold glare. You are just a lowly iron rank magic apprentice. Know your place. Aiden saw right through him. Vespera came to the White City to find me, and who I am is none of your business. You are not my grandpa. Owen clenched his fists, breathing heavily. I will remember you, Aiden. Aiden smiled slightly. Even a pig would have remembered me by now. He turned away, leaving Owen furious. Minutes later, the 4 guild members were barely recognizable. Luke's interrogation methods were brutal. He poured corrosive mercury onto open wounds and used potions to enhance their pain. Luke kept peeling skin off while talking casually to Aiden. By the way, Article 139 does not mention extreme evil groups. Aiden frowned. Do you know the law well? Luke smiled brightly. Just a little. But what we said was wrong. People still fight each other for desire. Many geniuses die in internal conflicts, even more than those killed by enemies. His face showed deep sadness and hidden anger. Aiden took a deep breath. His main goal right now was removing the demon curse. Finally, 1 member cracked and spilled useful information. 6 members were left. Luke dragged the prisoners along as they moved fast. Under Luke's guidance, the group reached a cave. A black-robed reclasser stood outside. Tiny holes opened on his skin, sending thousands of black insects into the cave. Insect tamer, platinum rank, Luke explained. Great for scouting. Never underestimate rare classes. Aiden nodded. The insect tamer spoke. 15 enemies inside. 1 strong guy noticed my insects. Luke turned to Owen. You are the puppeteer. It is your turn. I want them alive. Owen hesitated, but Luke threatened to report his non-cooperation to Garvard University. Scared of the university's influence, Owen made a strange hand gesture. A 6-pointed star appeared, summoning 3 golden puppets. Luke advised Aiden, Legendary puppeteer, do not engage in a long fight. Take out the main body fast. Aiden asked directly, Can a puppeteer make exact copies of themselves to trick the enemy? Owen almost tripped in shock. That was his secret technique. How did Aiden know? 10 minutes later, over a dozen guild members lay defeated. Luke picked 6 of them, and arranged rare materials into a star formation on the ground. Step into the circle. The demon curse will be gone soon. Aiden stepped inside. You entered the curse transfer circle. Demon curse is being transferred. 3 minutes passed. A strange hissing sound echoed in Aiden's ear. The demon curse was completely gone, but the 10 guild members were now dead. A huge weight lifted off Aiden's chest. He was finally ready to challenge the Abyss boss. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Owen looked extremely nervous and regretful. I did not expect it to go this way. Luke ignored him and turned to the group with a severe look. We have a massive problem. Most of the Evil Demons Guild members just slipped into the White City. The Evil Demons Guild did not run away. Instead, they slipped right into the White City. Aiden felt something was wrong. Evil groups usually run during a crackdown. Combined with their previous threat, a bad feeling hit him. Aiden asked nervously, "Can they really break the city's defense?" Luke shook his head. High-ranking members entered the base this morning. That is all the prisoners knew. Owen panicked, his throat moving nervously. The princess is still inside. He only cared about Princess Kelsey. If she got hurt, the Empress would punish him severely. Luke stayed calm. The princess has strong bodyguards. We need to head back immediately. He pulled out his phone, but there was no signal. Luke looked up at the sky, feeling deep unease. He called out, "Onyx!" A giant dark raven descended from the sky. Everyone jumped onto its back, rushing toward the city. Suddenly, a massive flash illuminated the night. A violent explosion rocked the White City, shooting flames straight into the sky. High above, a figure hovered under the moonlight. He had 2 giant wings, a black beast horn, and razor-sharp teeth. Dark shadows spread from his body, swallowing the light around him. He laughed cruelly. "A legendary rank class. This mission is getting interesting." Aiden tried to inspect him, but saw only question marks. Luke gripped his axe, whispering, "S-class fugitive, Orion the Demon Serpent, level 83 Demon Warrior." Owen trembled in fear. The White City was too small for such a monster. The princess was in real danger. Luke tightened his grip. "He is here for me. Return to the city and minimize the damage. I will meet you soon." Orion licked his lips, laughing excitedly. "Tyrant Luke, level 79 Tyrant Cleric. You were once a top target. This will be fun." Aiden was surprised. Luke used to have even higher potential than Vespera. Orion exploded his shadows into giant snakes, rushing forward with a loud hiss. Luke activated his tyrant's domain. His body grew larger, as red chains formed a massive net, covering the sky. The heavy impact forced the giant dark raven down. Aiden briefly lost gravity before the bird stabilized and flew straight toward the city. Aiden looked back and noticed Orion ignored them. But using his apprentice's heart, Aiden sensed multiple enemies hiding in the forest below. He shouted, "Split up!" Owen mocked him immediately. "Split up? What a stupid idea!" Before Owen finished, Aiden spread his flame cloak and leaped off the bird. Moments later, massive energy beams shot from below, blasting the giant dark raven out of the sky. Explosions roared as the bird crashed. Aiden folded his cloak to stay hidden in the dark, dropping quickly toward the trees. Right before crashing, he flared his cloak to glide safely. Suddenly, a blinding flash turned night into day. A giant mushroom cloud erupted where Luke and Orion fought. A massive shockwave tore through the forest, ripping trees out of the ground like straw. Aiden ducked behind a rock as debris slammed against it. Aiden gritted his teeth. High-level battles were terrifying. A single shockwave could kill him instantly. He needed to get stronger fast. Using his iron dragon wings, Aiden flew close to the ground, staying hidden from the hiding guild members. Up ahead, a hand burst out of broken stones. Owen dug himself out, breathing heavily. "I almost died. How did Aiden know we would be attacked?" Owen looked up and froze. He saw Aiden flying with the iron dragon wings. Greed filled Owen's eyes. An epic-level flying gear, something even he never owned. Before Owen could move, hurried footsteps echoed through the ruined trees. "Quick, search carefully. Leave no survivors." Owen quickly drank a high-level recovery potion. 10 strong puppets appeared around him to shield him. He hard tried to hide his greed. Aiden, do not run. We can team up and take them down. Aiden knew staying meant getting trapped by unknown enemies. He ignored him and flew toward the White City. Owen's face darkened. He ordered a puppet to attack Aiden. Running away? You are a coward. Aiden looked back coldly. Idiot! He raised his epic staff and cast Ultimate Frost, freezing the puppet instantly. Several high-level guild members rushed out, including a level 60 epic reclasser. Panicking, Owen turned and ran. The epic enemy slammed his hands down, sending thick green vines underground toward Owen. Aiden was already far ahead. Owen bit his lip and commanded a puppet to charge. Self-destruct, an explosion echoed. Owen's heart broke over losing a $10 billion puppet. Suddenly, Owen saw Aiden turn back. Aiden, help me. My grandpa is... Owen froze. Multiple pursuers were chasing Aiden from behind. Aiden smiled slightly. Since you tried to attack me earlier, here is a little gift. Owen panicked and fled in another direction, cursed with enemies ahead and behind. Aiden flapped his iron dragon wings, locking onto Owen to cut enemy numbers. Owen screamed in frustration. You crazy idiot, stop following me! Aiden raised his staff and cast Blazing Tornado. A 400-meter fiery vortex erupted, sucking in rocks, dirt, and branches. As the terrifying storm raged, Owen's puppet rushed inside and exploded. When the tornado cleared, Aiden was gone. Owen looked up and saw Aiden climbing high into the sky, flying fast toward the city. The pursuers shifted all their focus onto Owen. He broke down completely, screaming at the sky. Damn you, Aiden! I will never forgive you! Aiden sneezed in midair. He used the tornado as cover to leave Owen with the pursuers as payback. Owen had diamond gear and a powerful grandpa, so he would likely survive. Approaching the White City, Aiden's face turned serious. Bodies covered the entrance. Soldiers had been wiped out instantly. Another strong epic reclasser was likely inside. Aiden landed to avoid being an easy target. Moving through the streets, he saw fallen civilians, even children. His eyes narrowed. These guild members were truly ruthless. Suddenly, a violent explosion shook the city center. A booming voice echoed. Who dares oppose me? A giant golden-red phantom, 30 meters tall, appeared near the luxury hotel. It held a massive hammer, releasing terrifying pressure. It looked just like Sean. Aiden rushed toward the hotel. Sean stood surrounded by flames, the giant phantom towering above him. Princess Kelsey, Vespera, Vivi, and John stood behind him. Over 50 identical black figures surrounded them on rooftops. All 50 figures spoke at once in a lazy tone. Titan Artificer, your power is impressive, but we are prepared. Hand over the princess and you live. Sean slammed his hammer onto the ground, launching a wave of scorching magma. Never! The magma passed right through the black figures without touching them. Sean's face darkened. You are the Shadow Assassin, one of the 4 Heavenly King's strongest lieutenants? The black figure chuckled darkly. It is an honor that Sean knows my name. Vespera took a deep breath, explaining quietly, the 4 Heavenly Kings are all over level 90. The Shadow Assassin once assassinated an 85-level Imperial warrior. Vivi and John gasped in shock. Princess Kelsey looked down, her voice trembling. I am sorry. He must be here for me. Vespera gently patted her head. Do not worry. Believe in Sean. Sean looked around silently. The royal bodyguards protecting Kelsey were gone, likely held back by another high-level enemy. The guild had planned this carefully. The Shadow Assassin spoke lazily. Hand over the princess, or this entire city will be destroyed. Kelsey stepped forward bravely. Sean, I can go with them. Sean stopped her immediately. Do not listen to him. He will not spare the city anyway. These are just clones waiting for reinforcements. We need to hold on until Luke arrives. At the street corner, Aiden's heart pounded furiously. The enemy had already spotted him. Another monster as strong as Orion. The White City is completely doomed today. Aiden slowly backed away into the shadows. He was only level 20, facing an 80-level boss. I need stealth skills, escape items, and a frontline tank pet. I cannot stay weak like this. He swore revenge against the evil demons guild, promising to repay every single one of them when he grew strong enough. Suddenly, a battered Owen stumbled out from behind Sean, his right arm hanging lifelessly. He had sacrificed 8 multi-billion-dollar puppets to escape. "Your Highness, I am here to protect you." Owen smiled smugly, thinking he was completely safe next to Sean. A shadowy figure glanced at him with disgust. Pathetic. 2 little mice trying to die first. At the end of the street, Aiden drank a mana potion and channeled power into his iron dragon wings. He recalled Sean's words. Clones. Fast, but low health. Suddenly, the hair on Aiden's neck stood up. Death was right behind him. A semi-transparent scythe appeared out of nowhere. Sean smashed his giant hammer toward Owen's location, trying to break the enemy's setup. A sharp pain sliced across Aiden's back. Before his blood hit the ground, Aiden used Ultimate Frost behind him, followed immediately by Demon's Domain. The dark ice froze the pale assassin for a fraction of a second. The assassin raised his scythe, mildly surprised. "Not bad, kid. You actually noticed me." Aiden pushed his limits. He gulped down another mana potion and unleashed his strongest spell. Thunder's Wrath! Lightning erupted violently from his body, engulfing everything around him. The Shadow Assassin clone took continuous damage inside Demon's Domain, but raised his giant scythe calmly. Wild purple lightning violently ripped through the street, shattering stone pavement into flying debris. Aiden drank another mana potion, keeping his eyes locked on the storm, facing an enemy far above his level. Thunder's Wrath dealt special unblockable lightning damage, with a chance for triple critical real damage. The clone moved stiffly, as his health dropped rapidly. "You are no ordinary magic apprentice. What is your class?" Aiden shouted back. "I am your dad." Blazing tornado. A fierce fire whirlwind erupted beneath the clone, mixing flames, lightning, and dark energy. The street turned into a deadly hell. Moments later, the shadow clone dissolved like a bubble. Killed legendary, rank shadow, assassin clone. Obtained epic skill book, shadow stealth. Aiden caught the skill book in relief. An epic skill. The clone's death gave him massive experience, and the skill book perfectly matched his need for stealth. Looking back, Sean's battle was raging. One clone turned to stare at Aiden, before getting dragged back into fight with Sean. A sharp pain hit Aiden's back, touching his bloody wound. He felt his own spine. His health sat at 30%. Light healing spell. Platinum rank light energy washed over him, stopping the bleeding instantly. Aiden quickly learned Shadow Stealth. The skill merged him into the shadows, making his presence, temperature, and sound completely vanish, while boosting his movement speed by 100%. He stepped into the gray realm of shadows, moving silently toward Sean's fight. No one noticed him. Sean's giant phantom slammed down its hammer, turning the ground into a massive lava crater. Aiden retreated quickly. Shadow Stealth made him move faster than the iron dragon wings. Behind Vespera, Owen dragged his legless body through the dirt, screaming in agony. Lava boiled just a meter away. "Vespera, save me! Save me!" Vespera, Vivi, and John ignored his cries, looking anxiously toward the end of the street. "That explosion earlier, Aiden used his strongest spell," Vespera whispered worriedly. John sighed. "A single clone is beyond our level. Owen lost his legs, and Aiden is probably—" Kelsey's face turned pale with guilt. Nobody believed a level 20 apprentice could survive a level 80 assassin clone. Owen screamed hysterically, bleeding out with 0 mana left. "Save me! My grandpa will make you pay." Vespera tossed a healing potion, hitting Owen right in the head. Owen drank it greedily, stopping the blood. He crawled through the dirt, trying to escape the battlefield. But right beside him, hidden deep within the shadows, Aiden held his staff tightly, eyes locked on Owen with deadly intent. Aiden stood in the shadows, his eyes locked on Owen. He could strike silently and end him right now. But killing Owen with his signature magic would draw the wrath of his powerful grandfather, Prime Minister Felix. Aiden decided on a simple fireball. It was common and unraceable. Before he could cast, Owen suddenly stopped crawling, sensing raw killing intent. There is another enemy. Vespera, Vivi, John, and Kelsey looked over immediately. Sean frowned. The Shadow Assassin clones laughed in unison. It seems Demon Serpent finished his job first, Sean. Crack! Chains rattled against the ground. Luke stepped out of the dark, dragging a lifeless corpse. Half his face was torn off, exposing white bone and bloody muscles. He looked directly at the assassin. Demon Serpent, is he supposed to be strong? Chains flew out, hurling the corpse of Demon Serpent Orion onto the boiling lava. A clone took a step back in disbelief. Impossible. Demon Serpent was higher level than you. Luke replied coldly. I will make you pay, even if I die. Aiden held his breath in the shadows. Luke had actually slain an 83-level demon warrior. Suddenly, the Shadow Assassin clones began clapping. Impressive, Tyrant Luke, but did you really think our goal was just to kill you? 50 dark figures pointed toward the sky. Death and destruction are humanity's true fate. Bow to the abyss. A massive red-black magic circle covered the sky above the White City, opening a giant space rift, crammed with millions of roaring demons. Sean gasped in shock. A space formation? The Shadow Assassin mocked them. The entire city was trapped from the start. High death tolls triggered the portal. Soon, the White City will fall directly into the abyss. Anyone level 50 or above will be ejected by unstable space energy. Red-black light pillars shot down from the sky, locking onto Sean, Luke, the Shadow Assassin, and Owen, forcing them to float upward. Sean smashed his hammer into the light, but spatial cracks ripped open around him. Damn it! I cannot break it without destroying space! Luke looked down at Vespera and shouted, Find Aiden! He is stronger than you think. He will keep you alive. Vespera bit her lip. Uncle Luke, Aiden was killed by the clone. Owen laughed hysterically. Good! That trash deserved to die. Suddenly, Aiden stepped out from a dark corner, looking annoyed. Owen froze in terror. You are alive? Aiden ignored him and yelled to Luke and Sean. How do we escape once the city falls? Luke shouted as he vanished into the sky. Survive until the space stabilizes. We will come back for you. Trust Aiden. Moments later, all 4 high-level fighters vanished. Vespera turned to Aiden in disbelief. Aiden, how did you escape the clone? Vivi added urgently. Can you really protect us? Aiden looked up at the sky, watching the city plunge into the demon-infested rift. He answered calmly. It was not an escape. I killed it. Stay close, and you will survive. Princess Kelsey stared at Aiden, her eyes filled with hope. Aiden had already slain a national-class red-flagged boss in the abyss. He was far stronger than anyone else here. Vespera looked worried. The White City is merging with the abyss. The sheer number of demons will be terrifying. Vivi added quickly. We should find a defensible place to hide and avoid drawing attention until reinforcements arrive from the sovereign city. Aiden smiled calmly. Hiding is useless. Once the demons slaughter everyone else, they will easily hunt us down. We need to gather all survivors and take control. Vespera gasped in shock. You want us to take the offensive? Aiden explained firmly. We gather everyone at the city center. Tanks can draw enemies, support classes can buff, and long-range attackers can blast them. We turn a desperate situation into an organized defense. Vivi realized the brilliant strategy instantly. Aiden is right. This is our only chance to survive. John pulled a metal megaphone from his storage ring. Use this silver rank item. It amplifies your voice. Aiden grabbed the megaphone right away. Kelsey pulled out a golden token, appointing him officially. By Imperial Law 125, I appoint you as the temporary commander of the White City. Golden light enveloped Aiden, temporary commander of the White City. Attributes boosted, strength plus 500, speed plus 200, spirit plus 500, extra HP plus 10,000. A shining golden title hovered above his head. Aiden spread his iron dragon wings, flying high into the air. He raised the megaphone, shouting across the city. Attention all soldiers, reclassers, and civilians. I am Aiden, temporary commander appointed by Princess Kelsey. The abyss is invading. Move to the city center immediately. At the Reclasser Association. Tina huddled in a room, holding a dagger to her heart in utter despair, ready to end her life before the monsters captured her. Suddenly, Aiden's voice echoed outside. Tina opened her eyes in disbelief, stepping out to see Aiden soaring through the sky, golden title shining, calm and fearless against the terrifying space rifts. Hope sparked in her heart. She dropped the dagger and ran toward the city center. Aiden landed near Kelsey. A large crowd had already gathered, staring at him with mixed fear and hope. John checked his telescope. "We have only 1 hour before the demon army lands." Vivi looked worried. Controlling panicking civilians is almost impossible. Aiden stayed calm. People facing death will follow any leader offering hope. He placed the abyss cloak on Kelsey's shoulders to let her fly beside him. "Just stand beside me so everyone sees the royal family supports this." Kelsey nodded. "I believe in you, Aiden." Aiden flapped his wings and soared above the crowd with Kelsey, raising his megaphone as thousands looked up. "I am Aiden, destroyer of the Iron Dragon, slayer of the national class boss, flame demon Oslu, and your temporary commander. Listen to my command." The crowd erupted in shocking whispers. "He killed the Iron Dragon? Is that real?" "It is! Look at his face. He is the guy from the video. Forget the Iron Dragon. He killed a national class boss from the Abyss. And look, Princess Kelsey is standing right beside him." Aiden let them talk, building their excitement before raising his hand. "I awakened as a magic apprentice, but today I stand at level 20 after slaying 2 red flag bosses. Why? Because I never gave up." His voice roared across the city center. "The demons arrive in less than an hour to hunt us like prey, but I refuse to bow down." Hope flared in the survivors' eyes. As despair turned into fierce rage, Aiden pointed to the streets. "I saw dead civilians, dead reclassers, and children lying in blood. The evil demons guild took our families, and now the abyss wants our lives. Will you surrender your children to those monsters?" The crowd clenched their fists, screaming in unison. "Never!" Aiden roared. "Then what do we do?" Vespera took the lead, shouting first. "Fight! Kill all the enemies!" Thousands of voices joined her, shaking the ground. "Fight! Kill all the enemies!" Aiden pointed to the darkening sky. "Even if I die today, I will make those monsters regret setting foot in our world. This war is for our future." Within minutes, Aiden transformed panic into absolute rage. He organized them into units, tanks up front, range behind, support on the left. He summoned the local leaders. Lucian from the association, Leo from the warrior guild, and Mayor Randy stepped forward, bowing respectfully. "Salute, General." Aiden dropped the megaphone, his face cold and commanding. "Take charge of your units. Collect all combat resources immediately. Potions, gear, everything." Mayor Randy hesitated. "What if someone refuses? Imperial law protects private property." Aiden cut him off coldly. "Anyone who disobeys military orders will be executed on the spot. Also, announce this. 500,000 for every demon killed. 10 kills get 10 million. No limit." The leaders gasped at his ruthless decisiveness and rushed to carry out orders. Suddenly, a commotion broke out nearby. A rich woman screamed at the soldiers. "This is my personal property. My son is a high-ranking military officer in Sovereign City. You dare touch my potions?" Lucian hesitated, terrified of her son's influence. Aiden walked up with an expressionless face. "This is a military order," the woman sneered. "So what? You must protect me, or my son will—" Poof! A flash of cold steel cut through the air. The woman's head flew into the sky, blood spraying over Aiden's face and clothes. Aiden held the bloody blade high, pointing it toward the pile of resources. "Anyone who disobeys will be beheaded. I donated my own gold rank staff. No one gets special treatment." The crowd gasped in shock, terrified into absolute obedience. They rushed to surrender their supplies without a single complaint. Meanwhile, in the Sovereign City Palace, Empress Era slammed her ornate staff onto the marble floor, her eyes burning with anger. "Idiots! The Abyss has invaded, and you still claim it is an accident?" Prime Minister Felix stepped forward calmly. "Your Majesty, let us use the Mirror of 10,000 Cities first to inspect the White City." The Empress tapped her staff, revealing a massive silver mirror to reveal the battlefield. The giant silver mirror rippled, revealing the chaos unfolding inside the White City. Aiden raised his voice and warned everyone that breaking military orders meant instant execution. The ministers in the hall froze. Minister Felix turned to James and asked if the military had secretly sent someone on a mission. James frowned and shook his head. Suddenly, the mirror flickered and went black. Empress Era quickly waved her staff, struggling to stabilize the image. The White City was falling into the abyss, making the surrounding space dangerously unstable. After a few moments, the image finally returned. Aiden stood there expressionlessly. He raised his long sword and cut off a woman's head. The bloody scene made the ministers turn pale. Felix immediately seized the opportunity, claiming that the military was slaughtering innocent people. James stepped forward and clarified that Aiden was not a soldier. Pointing at the golden title above Aiden's head, James explained that he was a temporary general appointed by Princess Kelsey. Empress Era ordered everyone to stay quiet and keep watching. As the mirror continued playing, the ministers gradually realized what was actually happening. James was impressed. Aiden acted fast, thought clearly, and maintained discipline even in the middle of total chaos. Relieved to see her daughter safe, Empress Era ordered a minister to investigate Aiden's background. Minutes later, the minister returned with shocking news. Aiden was only an Iron Rank magic apprentice, a student who had been expelled from school. The ministers were stunned, but the report continued. Aiden had recently cleared his first-class change mission by killing a regional red-flagged boss and a national-level red-flagged boss, reaching level 20 at record speed. James suddenly remembered the name. His sister Vivi had mentioned being saved in the abyss by a young man named Aiden, who had slain the level 40 abyss boss, Flame Demon Oslu. Empress Era was amazed. She realized Aiden might actually be able to buy enough time for the survivors. However, Felix felt a flash of killing intent. His grandson Owen had already warned him about Aiden. Felix spoke up, claiming that gathering everyone together was suicide. He argued that scattering would have bought them more time and accused Aiden of leading tens of thousands of people to their deaths. Several conservative ministers quickly agreed, labeling Aiden an incompetent criminal. James immediately snapped back, arguing that fighting against an invading force was necessary. Felix sneered. Against an overwhelming army, he called it pure stupidity. At that moment, Master Atlas entered the hall. He proposed allowing Genius University students under level 50 to enter the city and help. Felix immediately opposed the idea. Instead, he suggested sending only a small team to rescue the princess and abandoning everyone else. Atlas glared at him angrily. James reminded everyone of the disaster 50 years ago, when 55,000 people died because of their inaction. Empress Era stood up, her hand trembling on her staff. Then she issued her final command. The Genius students would prepare near the border. If Aiden's forces collapsed immediately, no reinforcements would enter. But if Aiden could hold the line, every eligible student would be deployed into the fight. Empress Era stared at the mirror. The fate of thousands now rested on a single Iron Rank magic apprentice. Aiden stood at the center of the White City, fully geared up, with the epic Iron Dragon's magic staff in his hand, the Flame Demon cloak fluttering behind him, and his massive iron wings spread wide. He had become the survivor's last hope. Kelsey lowered her head slightly. Aiden, if it gets too dangerous, please take care of yourself. Aiden smiled. With his shadow stealth skill, he knew he could survive. Don't you believe in me? Kelsey shook her head firmly. 50 years ago, a city had fallen to the abyss, leaving 55,000 dead. I am the princess. This city's crisis is my fault. I want to stay, even if we all die. Aiden was surprised by her resolve. The Evil Demons Guild would attack anyway. This isn't your burden to carry. He pointed his staff toward the shrinking ski rift and smiled. This time will be different. History will remember Aiden, the general appointed by Princess Kelsey, leading the White City to strike back. Kelsey's eyes lit up. She raised her arm beside him. They will remember our names. Aiden patted her head, seeing her as a brave younger sister. Then he sent her back to safety as Vespera and John ran over. John held out a skill book. I found this Starlight rank book. Can you use it? Aiden checked the details. It was a non-combat skill called Victor's Hand. It allowed the user to automatically collect all loot after killing targets. At first, Aiden was disappointed, but he quickly realized its true value. With a massive battle ahead, he would not have time to pick up dropped items manually. He learned it immediately. What do you want in return? John shook his head. Nothing. You surviving is enough for all of us. As a high-ranking member of the Hawthorne family trade empire, John had access to almost anything, but Aiden only chuckled quietly. John might regret turning down a reward if he ever found out Aiden had an epic demon's heart on him. Black cracks began spreading across the ground. The abyss monsters were arriving. Here they come. Get ready for battle. Aiden flapped his iron wings and flew high above the crowd. He looked down at Mayor Randy, Leo, and Lucien. Remember the plan? They nodded with deep respect. General, every tactic is memorized. Suddenly, black rifts tore open across the city. Swarms of grotesque demons poured out. Panic spread through the crowd as the terrified survivors began to tremble. Aiden knew he had to raise their morale immediately. He flapped his wings and flew straight to the front lines, turning his back to the survivors. Seeing their commander standing at the absolute front line gave the frightened fighters immediate courage. Then, a massive space rift ripped through the air farther away. Rusty joints screeched, making everyone cringe. A 30-meter giant spider demon crawled out, its 8 red eyes glaring with pure madness. Humans! So much food! Corrosive green saliva dripped from its jaws, melting the ground into a massive smoldering hole. It bared its hairy fangs and roared. Fear me! To be food for Lord Roth is your honor! Panic instantly returned to the survivors. A demon noble! I checked with my skill. He's a level 50 abyss boss. There are more bosses behind that rift. How can we fight this? Even the leaders turned pale as they looked up at Aiden, but the 18-year-old commander showed no fear at all. Aiden knew he had to destroy this boss to keep his army's spirit alive. It was time to use the experience points he had earned from killing the Shadow Assassin's clone. He activated his special skill, Apprentice's Heart, spending 200 million experience points in seconds. His stats exploded, gaining an extra 700 strength, 1,300 constitution, 2,200 spirit, and 550 agility. Aiden smiled calmly. He swung his magic staff to the side, drew a long sword with his left hand, and dropped it into the ground below. Half the blade sank into the earth. He hovered right above it, with his wings spread wide, and called out to the entire city. This sword is the boundary. If I take one step back, anyone can use it to cut off my head. Now, watch me crush the enemy. Vivi moved fast and cast her professional skill, Demigod Boost, directly onto Aiden. Black and white energy wrapped around his body, giving him a massive boost in constitution, health, and magic resistance. Behind her, the surviving support casters poured every buff skill they had onto Aiden. Aiden felt an overwhelming surge of raw power. Roth, the Abyss Demon Noble, laughed maniacally as corrosive green smoke poured from him, melting the surrounding buildings into toxic sludge. Useless bugs, the more you struggle, the better you'll taste. Meanwhile, deep inside the Imperial Palace Hall, the ministers watched through the projection with heavy hearts. Felix bowed to Empress Era and declared that a level 50 demon boss was unstoppable in the White City. General James silently agreed. Even the top graduates from Garvard University could not handle Roth at the same level. James let out a sigh. Without high morale, he predicted the city's defenses would collapse in 10 minutes. Empress Era sank back into her throne, her hopes fading. But before the ministers could finish their grim predictions, Chairman Atlas gasped. Era stood up in shock as the mirror showed Aiden stepping out alone to face the nightmare. Aiden looked the giant demon straight in the eyes. You're being executed by Aiden, the general appointed by Lord Kelsey. Ultimate Frost. Boosted by dozens of buffs and over 2,000 spirit points, a massive wave of extreme ice exploded around Roth and instantly froze his 30-meter body. Roth's 8 red eyes widened in utter disbelief. A level 20 human had just frozen a level 50 demon noble. Spitting toxic smoke from inside the block of ice, Roth shattered the frozen layer around his upper body and roared in fury. You made me angry. That was your strongest trick, wasn't it? Before he could even finish, a thunderous roar shook the air. Thunder's wrath. A 1,000-meter ocean of purple lightning swallowed the street and scorched Roth's massive body. The lightning triggered a critical strike, cutting the demon's health bar straight from 100% to below 50%. Panicking, Roth activated poison armor, covering his body in thick green acid plating to slow the damage. You're out of skills now, human, Roth growled, raising his massive spider legs. Aiden only smiled. Who said I'm out? Blazing tornado? A soaring vortex of fire and wind ripped through the street, tearing the acid armor to shreds and melting Roth's flesh. Death was right in front of him. Terrified, the The 30-meter giant turned and tried to flee into a space rift, but it was too late. His massive body crashed heavily onto the ground, dead. Silence fell over the entire city. Vespera, Kelsey, Vivi, and the survivors stared at Aiden in frozen shock. Notifications flooded Aiden's view as he gained millions of experience points and completed his third-class mission. Using Victor's hand, he instantly collected all the loot: an epic spider demon venom glove and an epic skill book, metal element arrow. He equipped the glove, learned the skill, and raised his magic staff high into the air. "The abyss demons are nothing! Follow me and fight!" The White City exploded into wild cheers, and inside the sovereign palace, Empress Era and her ministers stood frozen in utter disbelief. The ministers stared at the battlefield in disbelief. Roth is dead? Did Aiden really kill a level 50 abyss boss? Even Era struggled to believe what she had seen. Aiden wasn't just surviving anymore. He had completely exceeded everyone's expectations. Era immediately ordered every available top student near the White City to enter and support him. Even Warlord James had only expected Aiden to injure Roth, but Aiden had actually killed him. Felix, however, was far less excited. His grandson Owen never told him Aiden was this powerful. A level 20 reclasser shouldn't have this kind of strength. Felix quickly suspected that Aiden had hidden his true class. He could actually be a mythic reclasser, and that was dangerous for Felix. If people saw geniuses like Aiden defeating the Abyss, they would regain hope. That would strengthen James and the military faction, while weakening Felix's conservative faction. Felix feared the Empire could eventually enter a full-scale war against the Abyss, so he decided Aiden had to be stopped from gaining more influence. Felix stepped forward. "Your Majesty, Aiden." But James immediately interrupted him. "Aiden saved the White City almost alone. He deserves a major reward." James even suggested bringing Aiden into the military department. With enough training, he believed Aiden could become an even stronger warlord. Felix immediately objected. He reminded everyone that Aiden had just used a dark skill. Years ago, another legendary rank genius learned dark skills and later betrayed the Empire. Felix argued that Aiden could receive rewards, but should never join the military. The ministers supporting Felix quickly agreed. Era struck the ground with her imperial staff. "Silence!" Before the argument continued, the mirror of 10,000 cities suddenly changed. Two more level 50 abyss bosses stepped through the giant rift. The hall immediately became tense again. The supporting students had already entered the White City, but they still needed around 3 minutes to reach Aiden. 3 minutes could be enough for the entire battlefield to collapse. Era ordered every student to support Aiden. Princess Kelsey would have to protect herself. Meanwhile, the fighting inside the White City became even more brutal. Humans and demons continued falling everywhere. One wounded reclasser looked toward Aiden before dying. "General, keep fighting." Aiden continued killing enemies, but he understood something important. If everyone kept fighting normally, humanity would eventually lose. So he fired a signal. Randy and the others immediately moved their teams into nearby buildings. At the same time, the two new bosses reached Roth's corpse. They mocked him for dying against a magic apprentice. Then the four-armed boss suddenly launched himself toward Aiden, but Aiden sensed the attack immediately. Using his steel wings, he dodged and flew toward the second boss. That demon had huge bone wings. Aiden's plan was simple. He would keep both level 50 bosses focused on him. If they reached the survivors below, the human formation could collapse instantly. Aiden raised his epic staff. A massive metal element arrow shot toward the bone-winged demon. The boss created a Starlight rank bone shield. He believed it could easily stop Aiden's attack, but the arrow pierced straight through it and struck his wing. The boss stared at Aiden in shock. "What kind of skill is that?" Aiden didn't answer. The four-armed demon attacked again. Aiden kept dodging while holding both bosses back alone. Meanwhile, Randy's teams began fighting from inside the streets and buildings. They used the narrow terrain to break the demon's formation. Many injured reclassers stayed behind to buy time for the others. Some knew they wouldn't survive, but they kept fighting anyway. Their strategy worked. Large numbers of abyss monsters entered the ambushes and were killed. Soon, reinforcements from Ironvale University finally reached the battlefield. One top student froze after seeing the destruction. Bodies covered the ground everywhere. Even the four-armed boss became confused. He could smell an enormous amount of death. At first, he thought the humans were being slaughtered. Then he realized the truth. Most of the dead were demons. The boss stared at the battlefield in shock. How did so many demons die? What did you humans do? The four-armed demon couldn't understand what was happening. The humans had retreated into the buildings, so he assumed they were afraid. But the smell of death around him told a different story. Most of the dead were abyss creatures. Then he looked into a narrow street and finally understood. A badly wounded reclasser was still fighting an abyss demon with one arm. Even after receiving a fatal injury, the man refused to let go. The four-armed boss immediately shouted, "We've been tricked! This is a trap!" The bone-winged demon also stopped chasing Aiden. Aiden watched as the wounded reclasser finally killed his enemy, but the man was already dying. He looked toward Aiden, raised his thumb, and struggled to speak. "General, tell them, kill more." Then his arm dropped. Aiden understood exactly what had happened. His strategy had worked. Using the narrow streets and buildings separated the Abyss army into smaller groups. It also stopped the humans from panicking and retreating together, but the price was terrible. Not everyone who followed his plan would survive. Aiden looked at Sar's fallen warrior. Then only one word left his mouth. "Kill!" A massive shadow appeared around him. Epic skill, shadow stealth. Aiden instantly disappeared. The two level 50 bosses became nervous. Now they finally understood. The humans weren't hiding from the abyss. They were hunting them. Then loud voices suddenly came from the battlefield. "The reinforcements are here!" Top students from Garvard and Ironvale University finally arrived. They immediately announced their arrival across the battlefield. The exhausted survivors heard them and regained their courage. "Counterattack! Don't let the abyss escape! General Aiden is still fighting!" Even heavily wounded reclassers continued attacking. More top students entered the battle. The Abyss army finally began retreating. Evan from Garvard University flew toward the two level 50 bosses. But before he could attack, both bosses suddenly turned around. They were running. They rushed toward a nearby space rift, but a shadow appeared directly in front of them. Aiden emerged and blocked their escape. "Ultimate Frost! Metal Element Arrow!" Aiden used all of his remaining magic power. Around 60 or 70 golden arrows appeared at once. They rushed toward the two bosses like a storm. Ultimate Frost slowed their movements before they could escape. Then the metal element arrows struck. The four-armed demon suffered several serious hits. The bone-winged boss lost control of his flight. The supporting students immediately attacked them together. Aiden wanted to continue fighting, but his magic power was completely empty. His wings stopped working. Aiden fell from the sky. More than a dozen abyss demons were directly below him. The nearby survivors immediately rushed toward him. But something unexpected happened. The demons recognized Aiden. This was the human who had killed Roth. They became terrified and immediately ran away. "General Aiden!" The wounded survivors tried to catch him themselves. Luckily, a magic reclasser acted first. Green vines formed a large net and safely caught Aiden. Meanwhile, the top students continued attacking the two bosses. After one final struggle, both level 50 demons were killed. Aiden received experience for assisting with both kills. He didn't care that he hadn't finished them himself. If he hadn't used everything he had, one boss could have escaped. Right now, Aiden wanted only one thing. Every abyss creature inside the White City had to die. He drank magic potions and prepared to continue, but Evan landed beside him. "General Aiden, leave the rest to us." He explained that Empress Era had sent top students from Ironvale and Garvard University. Then Evan bowed and returned to the battle. Aiden finally felt some relief. With reinforcements here, more people could survive. Then a badly wounded reclasser approached him. "General, are you okay?" The man was missing an arm, yet he was worried about Aiden. Aiden immediately used a platinum rank light healing spell on him. The main battle was ending. But Aiden's work wasn't finished. He drank potion after potion and joined the support students. Together they treated those with the most dangerous injuries first. Aiden continued healing until his body was almost completely exhausted. Eventually, Kelsey and Vespera found him. Kelsey told him to rest, but Aiden refused. Whenever he stopped, he remembered those who had died, especially the warrior from the narrow street. That final raised thumb remained in his mind. Aiden knew his strategy had been cruel, but he had chosen it to save as many people as possible. Because of that, victory brought him no happiness. He returned to the street where the warrior had died. Then he carefully separated the man's body from the demon. Aiden quietly spoke, "I'll never forget what you said." Later, everyone began cleaning the battlefield. The bodies of the fallen reclassers were gathered in the center of the White City. Evan eventually returned. "General, every enemy has been eliminated. The White City should return to normal soon." Aiden looked around at the bodies. Normal? After everything that happened, that word felt impossible. Aiden remained silent for a moment. Then he called everyone over. Everyone, come here. I have something to say. Soon all the surviving reclassers gathered in front of him. Everyone silently looked at Aiden. The battle was finally over. But out of tens of thousands of survivors, only around half remained. Randy and the others worried about Aiden. Even experienced reclassers were shaken by what had happened, and Aiden was only 18. Yet, he had led the White City through an impossible battle. Randy stepped forward. General Aiden, no one could have done better. Without you, every one of us would be dead. Nobody disagreed. Aiden slowly looked at the fallen reclassers around him. Then he asked one question. Has the war ended? Someone immediately answered. It's over, General. We won. Every abyss creature is dead. But Aiden shook his head. No, it's not over. The survivors became silent again. Aiden continued. The dead can't tell anyone what they suffered. But those of us still alive can speak for them. What happened in the White City will soon spread everywhere. So tell everyone in the Great Shaw Empire, Aiden paused, the White City event isn't the end of this war. It's the beginning of humanity's revenge against the abyss. For a moment, nobody spoke. Then the survivors erupted. Revenge! Revenge! Even Kelsey, Vespera, Vivi, and the top students joined them. After everything they had experienced, Aiden had become their hero. Around 20 minutes later, Luke and Sean arrived with medical teams. Sean immediately relaxed after seeing Kelsey alive. Luke walked toward Aiden. General Aiden, the Empress already knows everything. She wants you to visit the sovereign city and receive your reward. Luke admitted that he only expected Aiden to protect Kelsey until help arrived. Instead, Aiden organized the survivors and defeated the Abyss army. But Aiden was thinking about something else. I promised everyone rewards for every enemy they killed, Luke immediately assured him. You were general of the White City. Your promise represents the Empire. Everyone will receive their rewards. The fallen warriors would also receive compensation from the Empire. Aiden nodded. Then he asked when they would leave for the sovereign city. Luke explained that Aiden could go whenever he wanted. The Empress herself was willing to wait. That was the Empire's respect for its new hero. Soon, Evan came to say goodbye. The supporting students were preparing to return. Before Evan left, Aiden asked him something. Did you take the college testing last year? Evan nodded. He had entered Garvard University only 1 year ago, yet he was already level 50. Aiden immediately understood something. A powerful university could massively increase a reclasser's growth speed. After Evan left, Luke mentioned another possibility. The White City incident could change this year's college testing. The Evil Demons Guild had recently become much more active, and an attack like this had never happened before. Because of that, the sovereign city might move the college testing forward. They wanted to protect talented students as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, news about the White City exploded across the internet. The Great Shaw Empire hadn't faced a major abyss invasion in 50 years. At first, almost nobody believed the reports. An 18-year-old magic apprentice became a temporary general, then led thousands of survivors in a counterattack. It sounded impossible. Many people called the story fake. But then the survivors started uploading proof. Videos from different angles appeared everywhere, and suddenly the internet became silent. Aiden had actually done it. People couldn't understand how a magic apprentice could be this powerful. Others focused on his decisions during the battle. Military experts began analyzing his strategies. Their conclusion was even more shocking. This victory wasn't luck. Aiden had repeatedly made the right decisions at the right moments. And he personally fought at the front throughout the entire battle. The only thing experts couldn't explain was his attributes. His base stats were far too high for a level 20 reclasser. Even a legendary ranked genius shouldn't have such numbers. Some believed Aiden possessed a skill that temporarily increased his stats. Soon, people started searching through Aiden's entire past. May and Kyle quickly became targets of online anger. Within half a day, almost the entire Great Shaw Empire knew Aiden's name. To them, he was now a true hero. Then people learned that Aiden would travel to the sovereign city. Tickets immediately began selling out. Thousands wanted to see the young hero themselves. But Aiden wasn't celebrating his sudden fame. He was inside the White City Reclasser Association. It was finally time to complete his class change mission. Only Tina remained inside with him. Everyone else waited outside respectfully. Tina finished operating the equipment. "General, it's done." Another badge appeared. Aiden took it, but before completing everything, he entered a private room. He still had one important item: the epic demon's heart. Aiden planned to absorb it first. He wanted to increase his chances of receiving a higher tier class change. Aiden used an epic demon's heart before completing his class change. His tier upgrade chance increased to 10.5%. That was lower than he expected, but his magic apprentice class had already reached platinum rank. So, upgrading it again was naturally much harder. Luckily, Aiden still had more than 900 demon's hearts. He continued absorbing them until the upgrade chance reached 100%. Then, Aiden absorbed the profession badge. Class change completed. Professional tier upgrade triggered. 3 new options appeared. The first would change him into a Starlight rank Dark Mage, but Aiden immediately rejected it. He had no interest in following the Dark Mage path. The second option was much better: Starlight rank Elemental Mage. It would also give him the Epic Water Elemental Arrow. Since Aiden already had Metal Element Arrow, this path could eventually help him create the legendary Elemental Arrow. Still, he wasn't satisfied. Then he saw the third option. He could keep his Magic Apprentice class and upgrade it to Starlight rank. Apprentice's heart would also become stronger. Most importantly, it would trigger a special mission. Aiden hesitated. Apprentice's heart was extremely valuable because it could permanently increase his stats. Combined with his 10,000 sex critical hit system, its potential was enormous. So, Aiden made his decision. "I'll choose the third option." His Magic Apprentice class immediately reached Starlight rank. Then, a new mission appeared, Bane of All Races 1. The requirement was simple but difficult: kill 10 bosses from different races. Every boss had to be at least level 50. He had to finish before completing his 5th class, and the reward made Aiden's eyes widen. A mythic special item. Even Aiden only possessed 1 damaged legendary rank staff. A mythic item was on another level entirely, and since this mission was called Bane of All Races 1, there could be more missions afterward. Aiden became even more interested. He had only finished his 3rd class, so there was still plenty of time. Then he checked the upgraded apprentice's heart. It could now randomly give up to 20 stat points and extra health. The minimum cost remained 100,000 experience. Aiden immediately became excited. With enough experience, his 4 attributes could become completely ridiculous. There was only one problem. Everything depended on luck. Aiden currently had more than 57 million experience from the White City battle, so he decided to test the upgraded skill. He spent millions of experience through Apprentice's heart, but the results weren't as good as he hoped. His luck was terrible. Eventually, Aiden stopped spending experience and checked his stats. His 4 base attributes had already reached around total. Strength, 1680. Constitution, 2101. Spirit, 3101. Agility, 1033. 33. A normal level 20 epic reclasser only had around 2 Kuln's total stats. Even a legendary rank reclasser had around 4,000. Aiden was already far beyond them, and that didn't even include his epic equipment. He had no idea how he compared with mythic reclassers. Information about them was almost completely hidden by the Empire. Then his remaining experience started increasing his level. Level 21, level 22, his level kept rising. Within seconds, Aiden reached level 30. Other reclassers needed months of fighting after completing a class change. Aiden only needed a few seconds. He prepared to immediately accept his 4th class mission, but then he stopped. His previous mission had already warned him about leveling too quickly. If he rushed again, the next mission could become even harder. Aiden decided to wait. After everything that happened in the White City, he also needed some rest. So he left the Reclasser Association. But the moment he stepped outside, a large crowd surrounded him. Survivors and online influencers were recording everything. One survivor asked when he would travel to the Sovereign City. Aiden calmly replied, "The war is over. I'm no longer general of the White City," but the survivors immediately disagreed. "You'll always be our general." Then a blogger shouted another question. "Mr. Aiden, what is your real class? People say you're at least legendary rank." Aiden gave the same answer as always. "My class is Magic Apprentice." Then he asked everyone to move. The survivors immediately opened a path, but several bloggers continued blocking him. Before Aiden could react, the White City survivors stepped forward themselves. They pushed the bloggers away and allowed Aiden to leave. One blogger became angry. "I have 1 million followers. I was trying to promote him." The survivors stared coldly at him. They knew exactly what he wanted. He wasn't helping Aiden. He was using Aiden's popularity for views. The blogger argued that Aiden wasn't their general anymore. Then Mayor Randy stepped forward. "You'll never understand what Aiden means to the White City." For the survivors, general was only a title. Aiden was the person who appeared when everyone believed they would die, and they would never forget that. Randy ordered the blogger to leave the White City. The frightened man had no choice but to retreat, but as he walked away, he received a message. Someone wanted him to ruin Aiden's reputation. The blogger became angry. Then he made his decision. Since the White City had humiliated him, he would accept the job. Daniel was furious after being chased away from the White City. As a blogger with millions of followers, he had never been treated like this. He believed he was helping Aiden gain more fame. Instead, he felt completely humiliated. Daniel moved somewhere quiet and made a phone call. "I've decided. But I want 30 million. Aiden is extremely popular now, and I could lose followers." The person on the other side agreed. Money wasn't the problem. Daniel's real job was much more important. He needed to keep praising Aiden, make him look perfect, make everyone believe he was some flawless hero. Daniel immediately understood. Praise killing. Once people believed Aiden was perfect, even one small mistake could destroy his image. The mysterious person promised to send him more material soon. After ending the call, Daniel noticed something nearby. The citizens were placing a massive statue of Aiden in the White City. It showed Aiden with his staff, cloak, and huge metal wings. The people had built it themselves. Daniel looked at the statue and smiled coldly. Soon these same people will tear it down themselves. Meanwhile, inside Felix's villa in the Sovereign City, another plan was moving forward. Felix asked his old servant if everything was ready. The servant confirmed it. Once Aiden entered the Sovereign City, they could begin. Felix admitted that under different circumstances, he would respect Aiden. Saving the White City truly made him a hero. But Felix believed the Empire needed stability more than heroes. More talented geniuses were already strengthening the military faction. If Aiden joined them, the balance inside the Empire could completely collapse. Felix also believed humanity could never truly defeat the Abyss. The demons were only one race among many unknown enemies. To him, avoiding a full-scale war was the only way to protect the Empire. After leaving Felix, the servant entered a hidden room. A small woman was imprisoned inside an iron cage. The servant gave her an order. "Contact the Evil Demons Guild. Tell them Aiden should only die after everyone turns against him." The woman mocked him. The Empire's first minister was secretly working with the Evil Demons Guild, but the servant gave only one answer. "Everything is for the Empire's peace." The woman refused to cooperate, so the servant used a strange doll connected to her body. Pain immediately forced her to obey. She raised one finger. Invisible energy gathered and formed a hidden bird. The bird flew out of the Sovereign City without triggering any defenses. Eventually, it reached a dark underground location. A cloaked man caught the message. Felix sent information about Aiden. A faceless projection appeared beside him. It immediately recognized the name. Aiden was the young man who had ruined their plan. The cloaked man explained that the Nightworm Lord was already furious. Aiden had been marked as a top-level assassination target. The projection laughed at Felix. The Abyss gods were beginning to awaken. A war between all races was approaching, yet Felix still believed peace was possible. The cloaked man remained calm. Humanity also had its own gods. For now, Felix was still useful. As for Aiden, they would follow Felix's plan. First destroy his reputation, then choose the right assassin. Back in the White City, Aiden prepared to leave. He climbed onto Luke's giant dark raven. The bird was still injured from the previous ambush. It also seemed angry at Aiden. Luke laughed and explained why. During the ambush, Aiden warned everyone except the raven. Aiden realized the bird was smarter than he expected, so he decided to compensate it. He asked Luke whether demons' hearts could also improve pets. Luke confirmed they could. Without hesitation, Aiden pulled out an epic-grade demon's heart. Then he threw it toward the giant dark raven. Everyone froze. Even Luke couldn't believe it. That was an epic-grade demon's heart? Aiden simply nodded. The raven immediately became excited. It even moved its head affectionately toward Aiden. Luke looked annoyed. "It says if it wasn't already my pet, it would want to become yours." Aiden laughed. Then he remembered that he also wanted a powerful pet someday. He asked John whether the Hawthorne family could find one, preferably epic rank or higher, with strong defense and health. But John wasn't listening. He was staring at Aiden in disbelief. Earlier, Aiden had promised him something valuable. John suddenly realized what it might be. Wait, were you planning to give me an epic demon's heart too? Aiden nodded. John immediately grabbed the raven's mouth. Spit it out! Aiden almost laughed. Then he casually tossed another epic-grade demon's heart toward John. John caught it and froze again. You have more? Aiden nodded. He still had nearly 2,000 demon's hearts. Most came from Flame Demon Oslu and Spider Demon Roth. He didn't need all of them. And as his strength increased, epic items would become less important anyway. Vivi watched quietly. She also wanted one, but she had nothing valuable enough to trade. Then another demon's heart suddenly flew toward her. Vivi caught it and stared at Aiden. Aiden smiled. You all gave me supplies during the Abyss attack. I still have plenty of these. Vivi, Vespera, and John were speechless. Even top geniuses in the Sovereign City rarely had items like this. But Aiden was giving them away casually. Luke finally interrupted them. It's time. We're heading to the Sovereign City. Everyone there is already waiting for you. The Sovereign City was more crowded than usual. Thousands of people had gathered outside the gates since the previous night. Some even camped there just to see Aiden arrive. Everyone had seen the videos from the White City, but they wanted to see the young hero with their own eyes. After centuries of humanity being suppressed by the Abyss, what Aiden had done felt almost impossible. Then someone suddenly shouted, "Look, that's Lord Luke's giant dark raven!" The crowd exploded with excitement. Aiden was finally here. Luke slowed the raven and looked at him. The people should get a proper look at their hero. Normally, flying inside the Sovereign City was forbidden, but Empress Era had personally given Aiden permission. He could fly directly from the city entrance to the Imperial Palace. Aiden looked down at the massive crowd. Thousands of people were cheering his name and recording him. It felt strange. Not long ago, he was only a newly awakened magic apprentice. Now the entire empire treated him like a hero. Aiden spread his Iron Dragon wings and stepped into the air. His red abyss cloak moved behind him as he flew forward. The crowd immediately erupted. Aiden! 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 Fireworks filled the sky as he crossed the Sovereign City. At the Imperial Palace, Empress Era watched his arrival. She was clearly pleased. The Empire had plenty of resources. What it desperately needed was talent. Although Aiden's record still showed him as a magic apprentice, Atlas suspected his class had already reached platinum rank. That only made Aiden's potential even more impressive. But Felix quickly spoke. Your Majesty, the title of Imperial Hero should already be enough. Aiden has used dark magic before. Several ministers agreed. Ira understood their concern. The Empire had already experienced powerful geniuses betraying humanity and joining the Evil Demons Guild. So, she calmly revealed her decision. Aiden will receive the Imperial Hero title, and he will also receive a chance to enter an Imperial secret trial. Felix's expression changed, but surprisingly, he didn't object. Soon, Aiden reached the palace. Era personally stepped forward to greet him. That small action alone showed how highly she valued him. Aiden landed and prepared to bow, but Era immediately stopped him. No need. You are an Imperial hero. You don't need to bow to anyone. Then she began introducing the most important people around her. She deliberately started with the military leaders. First was James, the Empire's greatest military warrior. James smiled at Aiden. Vivi has told me about you. You also saved her twice. He invited Aiden to visit the Taylor family later. James believed Aiden had excellent tactical thinking, but his actual combat technique could still improve. Aiden immediately accepted the suggestion. Training with someone like James could be extremely valuable. Then Atlas stepped forward. He mentioned Vespera and invited Aiden to the Wexley family. They had an epic-class mount that was about to give birth. Aiden had already been looking for a powerful defensive pet, so that offer immediately caught his interest. After that, Era introduced Felix and the other ministers. Felix gave Aiden a fake smile. My grandson Owen has almost recovered. You should visit him sometime. Aiden immediately remembered Owen. The man had lost both legs and hated him. So, Aiden smiled. I can visit, but I'm not sure Owen would be happy to see me. Felix's smile disappeared instantly. Era noticed everything. She had intentionally introduced the military faction first, and Aiden clearly understood what she was doing. He was friendly toward James and Atlas, but much colder toward Felix and the ministers. Era became even more impressed. Aiden didn't only have military talent, he also understood politics. Then the official reward ceremony began. Era raised her staff. Aiden of the White City, for your achievements during the Abyss invasion, you are awarded the title of Imperial Hero. Golden light entered Aiden's body. Imperial Hero. Agility increased by 2,000. Spirit increased by 3,000. Extra health increased by 30,000. Aiden would also deal 10% more damage to Imperial enemies. He no longer needed to bow to anyone, and during emergencies he could command up to 300 soldiers from any city. But that wasn't everything. Era continued. Aiden received the military rank of Lieutenant Colonel. He also received 1 Starlight rank equipment, 5 billion, and 1 chance to enter the Imperial secret realm. The total value of the rewards was enormous. Era expected Aiden to become excited. Instead, he remained completely calm. Thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you, the Empire. Era became confused. The Imperial secret realm alone was something countless geniuses would fight for. It could help improve a reclasser's professional tier, so she explained how valuable the opportunity was. Aiden rubbed his nose awkwardly. Then he gave an unexpected answer. The Imperial secret realm? It's not really that important to me. Everyone nearby heard Aiden say the Imperial secret realm wasn't important to him. The ministers and military leaders immediately froze. There were very few ways to increase a professional tier. The Imperial secret realm was one of the best. Another method was using high-level demons' hearts, and even those didn't always work. James became worried. He truly believed in Aiden's potential, so he quickly warned him, "Don't waste this chance. If you improve your professional tier, you could enter a military university through special recruitment." Felix immediately mocked him. "If you don't value it, trade it for something else." Ungrateful. Aiden ignored him and looked directly at Empress Era. "Your Majesty, can I trade all my rewards for an item that changes luck?" Era was surprised. The Empire only had one famous item like that. The twin coin, but it was already reserved for the National College testing top scorer. So, Ira shook her head. "That reward can't be exchanged. Do you want something else?" Aiden was slightly disappointed, but he already planned to become the national top scorer anyway, so he changed his request. Then trade the Imperial secret realm chance for money. Era stared at him. "Are you sure?" Aiden nodded. "I already have another way to improve my professional tier. So, I don't need the secret realm." Everyone looked at him again. Felix immediately laughed. "Big words. Other than high-level demons' hearts, the Imperial secret realm is your best chance. You're only an iron rank magic apprentice." Aiden frowned. He wasn't giving up the reward. He was exchanging it, so he looked at Felix. "If your ears aren't working, I know a good hospital in the White City. You should get them checked." James and Atlas almost laughed. Nobody normally dared speak to Felix like that, but Aiden wasn't finished. "Also, who told you I'm still iron rank?" Felix's expression changed. He immediately used detection. Then his eyes widened. "Magic apprentice, level 30, starlight rank." For a moment, nobody said anything. Even Era looked shocked. Less than a day ago, Aiden had been level 20. Now he was already level 30, and his magic apprentice class had reached starlight rank, something almost nobody had ever seen. Felix stared at him. "How did you do that? Did you hide your level before? And how did your professional tier rise that much?" Aiden smiled. "Ignorance. I already told you. I don't need the Imperial secret realm. I'm exchanging it for money." Then his tone became colder. "My level and professional tier are my private information. Even as First Minister, you have no right to interfere. If you can't hear properly, fix your ears. If you can't read information correctly, fix your eyes." Felix could barely contain his anger. Aiden had never respected him anyway. Owen had already tried causing problems for Aiden in the past. Then one minister suddenly stepped forward. "Show some respect. Felix is a pillar of the Empire." He bowed toward Era. "Your Majesty, Aiden doesn't deserve the Imperial Hero title." Several ministers immediately agreed. They demanded that Era take the title back, but Aiden calmly turned toward them. "The duty of an Imperial Hero is protecting the people. But according to you, respecting Felix matters more. So tell me, is Felix more important than the entire Empire?" The ministers immediately became silent. Aiden continued. The people supported you and gave you power, but now you only care about serving Felix. Did you forget who you were supposed to protect?" The ministers had no answer. Felix's expression became darker. If Aiden's words spread publicly, it could create a huge political problem. Felix tried to speak, but Era raised her hand. "Enough." She looked at the ministers. "Aiden has a point. Think carefully about why you hold your positions." Then she looked back at Aiden. "If you don't want the Imperial secret realm, I'll exchange it for 10 billion. Aiden accepted immediately. Era then led him toward the banquet. James and Atlas looked at Felix and smiled. James couldn't resist teasing him. Young people really are full of surprises. For some people, maybe more like scares. Felix stayed silent, but inside, his decision became even stronger. Aiden could not be allowed to remain in the sovereign city for long. If he kept growing, he could become a serious threat. At the banquet, Kelsey, Vespera, John, and the others were already waiting. Kelsey immediately ran toward Aiden. "Aiden! I've been waiting for you." Aiden smiled and instinctively reached out to pat her head, but Atlas suddenly coughed. "Your Highness!" Before Aiden could react, someone nearby spoke coldly. "So, you're Aiden? You really came from a small place. Your Highness isn't someone you can touch whenever you want." A young man in a white suit walked toward Aiden. His name was Logan. He immediately criticized Aiden for touching Princess Kelsey's head. "This is the sovereign city. How can you treat the princess so casually?" Before Aiden could respond, Kelsey pushed her head directly into his hand. "Aiden isn't disrespecting anyone. And I don't need your help, Cousin Logan." She even grabbed one of Aiden's fingers. Logan's face immediately turned red. Vespera quietly explained the situation. Logan was also part of the royal family. He was one of the sovereign city's famous geniuses. More importantly, the Imperial Secret Realm opportunity had originally been prepared for him. Aiden immediately understood. So, Logan thought Aiden had stolen his chance. Aiden ignored him and casually patted Kelsey's head again. "You missed me that much already?" Kelsey smiled proudly. "Aiden is my appointed general. Even my mother said I did a great job." She genuinely enjoyed being around Aiden. Unlike most people, he didn't treat her differently because she was a princess. Then Logan tried speaking again, but Empress Era immediately stopped him. "Kelsey is still young, and Aiden is an Imperial hero. There's no need for so many rules between them." Then she looked directly at Logan. "Logan," he immediately bowed. "Your Majesty, I was wrong." Era ended the argument and left the banquet. She wasn't worried about Aiden. Someone who could silence the Empire's ministers could easily handle these young geniuses. Before leaving, James reminded Aiden to visit his family after the banquet. Atlas immediately interrupted. "No, visit mine first." John tried mentioning that his grandfather also wanted to invite Aiden, but James and Atlas both looked at him. John immediately stopped talking. Soon, the older officials left. Only the younger reclassers remained. The banquet quickly became more relaxed. Then Evan approached Aiden with a glass of wine. "General Aiden, remember me?" Aiden smiled. "Of course, but I'm not a general anymore. Just call me Aiden." Aiden respected Evan. He and the other students had entered the White City while the battle was still dangerous. Then Evan shared some important news. The college testing might be moved forward. Aiden immediately became interested. The college testing mattered because its top reward was the twin coin. When? Probably within a few days. Evan explained that the exact date still depended on the Empress. Then he mentioned something even more interesting. Some of the candidates had awakened directly as mythic reclassers. Aiden immediately became curious, but Logan suddenly interrupted again. "Someone from a small city wants to compete with real geniuses? What a joke." Evan ignored him. Meanwhile, Kelsey kept staring at a nearby cake. Aiden noticed and handed it to her. "Don't eat too much. Your teeth will suffer." Kelsey happily nodded. Evan watched them with a strange expression. Aiden noticed. "Something wrong?" Evan lowered his voice. "There are things about the sovereign city you don't know yet. We should talk privately later." Then he looked at Kelsey. "The princess being this comfortable around someone is very rare." Aiden became slightly confused, but before he could ask more, the banquet suddenly became noisy. "Victor is here!" He actually came. Several geniuses immediately rushed toward a newcomer. Victor, a famous mythic reclasser, but Victor ignored everyone around him. "Move!" He pushed through the crowd and walked directly toward Aiden. Then he said something that silenced the entire banquet. "You don't deserve the Imperial Hero title." Everyone froze. Even the geniuses who disliked Aiden hadn't dared say something like that directly. Victor continued, "Your strategy in the White City was wrong. You shouldn't have scattered the survivors into the buildings. If I were there, I would have found a better strategy. More people could have survived. According to Victor, Aiden's title had been built on the deaths of the White City survivors. Aiden remained completely silent, but Kelsey could feel his hand becoming tense. Aiden didn't care when people mocked his class. He didn't care when they called him someone from a small city, but this was different. Victor was saying people died because of Aiden's decisions. That was something Aiden couldn't tolerate. He asked coldly, "So, what would you have done?" Victor confidently answered, "They should have fought while retreating and preserved more strength." Aiden stopped listening halfway through. "Useless. Idiot." Victor froze. Aiden looked straight at him. "I said you're a brainless idiot. Did you not hear me?" Victor became angry. Instead of questioning his strategy, he accused Aiden of refusing to accept criticism. Aiden's expression became colder. "You know nothing about that battlefield, so stop pretending you understand tactics. Get out." Aiden was already forcing himself not to start a fight. Then Logan made everything worse. Victor is a military genius. Even Warlord James praised him. His strategy was clearly better than yours. Then Logan said the one thing he shouldn't have said. "Because of you, many innocent people died." Boom! Aiden's energy exploded across the banquet. Images from the White City immediately returned to his mind. The wounded survivors, the bodies, and the warrior's blood-covered thumb. Aiden slowly turned toward Logan. His voice became ice cold. "What did you just say?" Aiden stared at Logan with clear anger. Back in the White City, his orders had been harsh, but he had made them because there was no other choice. One moment of hesitation could have caused the survivors to panic and collapse. Logan, however, kept pushing. "You still refuse to admit your mistake?" He then praised Victor in front of everyone. General James himself said Victor has the potential to become a general. If Victor had led the White City, more people would have survived. Logan thought Aiden had nothing to say. But Aiden finally answered, "My mistake? If you want to attack me, then be direct. I'll give you a chance. Fight me. If you lose, kneel before the victims of the White City and apologize. If you win, ask for anything you want." Logan's expression immediately changed. He had already seen Aiden kill Roth. He knew he would lose. So, instead of accepting, he tried to avoid the challenge. Aiden cut him off. "Don't waste time. Either admit you're useless or accept." Logan became embarrassed. The people around him were already watching closely, so he tried another excuse. "I only pointed out your mistake. You're getting emotional because I'm right." Aiden stepped directly in front of him. "You like talking about other people, but when it's time to act, you always make excuses." Then Aiden pulled out his Iron Dragon magic staff. Logan instantly became nervous. "Well, what are you doing? This is the sovereign city." Aiden pointed the staff at him. "Apologize, or draw your weapon." At that moment, Victor stepped between them. Logan was harsh, but he wasn't completely wrong. There were better strategies. Victor still believed more people could have survived. That only made Aiden angrier. The dead warriors from the White City were still fresh in his mind. Then he looked at both Victor and Logan. "Genius? Mythic reclasser? Fine. Both of you can fight me together." The entire banquet exploded with whispers. Some called Aiden arrogant. Others believed Victor and Logan had gone too far. But several sovereign city geniuses still mocked Aiden. They claimed he had only gotten lucky. Some even said they could have done the same thing in the White City. Aiden tightened his grip on his staff. The title of Imperial Hero meant nothing to him. Neither did the Empire's rewards. Then a powerful voice suddenly stopped everyone. "Enough!" Empress Era had returned. Everyone immediately bowed. Kelsey quickly explained what happened. "Mother, Logan kept using the White City victims to provoke Aiden. Please don't punish him." Victor calmly defended himself. He believed scattering the survivors through the streets had been too cruel. Many people could have survived. "I'm only telling Aiden that his tactics weren't perfect." Aiden immediately replied, "Idiot. If you had been in charge, nobody would have survived." Victor refused to back down. Then Era looked toward James. James silently shook his head. Even he believed Aiden's decisions had been the best possible choices. So, Era spoke. Aiden did nothing wrong. The fact that so many people survived was already because of him. But Victor still refused to accept it. He had watched the battle videos repeatedly. He still believed there had to be a better way. Then he made his strongest accusation. Aiden was too cold, too cruel. Aiden finally lost patience. "Do you think I care about being called an imperial hero? Do you think I need the Empire's rewards?" Then he looked directly at Victor. "You call yourself a genius. But you're ignorant. Victor took a deep breath. He still believed he could prove Aiden wrong, so he turned toward James. General James, can I borrow the military simulation map? James immediately understood what Victor wanted. The simulation map could recreate battlefield situations. Victor planned to repeat the White City battle and prove he had a better strategy, but James already knew the likely result. Even he couldn't find a clear flaw in Aiden's decisions, so he tried to stop Victor. Maybe you shouldn't. Victor misunderstood. He thought James was simply trying to protect Aiden. People can only improve after seeing their mistakes. I just want to show Aiden where he went wrong. James looked toward Era. After thinking for a moment, she made her decision. Fine. Bring the simulation map. James nodded, but before leaving, he looked at Victor and quietly sighed. Soon, the Ministry of War brought out a massive simulation map. James explained that it could recreate past battles almost perfectly. He had already loaded the exact conditions from the White City. Victor would control the human side and prove his strategy was better. Victor looked confidently at Aiden. You'll finally see where you went wrong. Aiden barely reacted. Instead, he asked James, am I controlling the Abyss side? James immediately shook his head. He already doubted Victor could succeed. If Aiden also controlled the Abyss, the result might be even worse. The young geniuses gathered around the map. Many still believed Aiden's reputation was exaggerated. Some even claimed they could have done the same thing in the White City. Then the simulation began. The streets and buildings of the White City appeared across the map. Victor started with a speech to raise morale, but James immediately sighed. Era noticed. Something wrong? James explained. Morale matters greatly in real battles. Victor's speech only reached about half the effect Aiden achieved. The surrounding geniuses became quieter. The battle hadn't even started, yet Victor was already behind. Logan still defended him. It's only a simulation. If his strategy works, morale will rise naturally. Then Victor began executing his plan. He gathered the survivors together. His strategy was to fight while slowly retreating until reinforcements arrived. At first it looked reasonable. Then the Abyss army appeared. The frontline survivors started dying. The people behind them watched their companions fall one after another. Fear immediately spread. Then the entire formation collapsed. The survivors turned and ran. Abyss demons chased them down and slaughtered them. Within moments, the battlefield became a disaster. Victor's face slowly turned pale. James finally stopped the simulation. Nobody spoke. Aiden looked directly at Victor. So, this is your better strategy? Almost everyone died. How does it feel? Victor had no answer. Aiden continued without mercy. You should be grateful this was only a simulation. If this happened for real, you'd be standing inside a city full of dead bodies. Victor stepped backward. No. If I had actually been there, I could have used my own strength to change the situation. Aiden immediately cut him off. Useless. You demand others admit their mistakes. But when you fail, you make excuses. Victor fell silent. Then Logan interfered again. If Victor were really there, his mythic class could have controlled the battlefield. Aiden instantly turned toward him. Did I ask you? If you think you're better, enter the simulation yourself. Or prove your strength against me. Aiden calmly raised his staff. I won't even use my equipment. These epic items can come off. The entire room froze. Several epic items? Most of the young geniuses only owned diamond rank gear. Even Logan treasured a single starlight rank weapon. Whispers immediately spread through the room. Some wondered how Aiden had gathered so much high-level equipment. Others still believed that without his gear, Logan could defeat him. Logan heard everything. Backing down now would destroy his reputation, but fighting Aiden directly was still too dangerous. Then Era stepped in. Enough! The banquet had already become far more chaotic than expected. She clearly wanted Logan to stop, but Logan couldn't accept leaving like this, so he proposed something different. Let's settle this during the college testing. No equipment, only our scores will decide who's stronger, Aiden calmly asked. And if you lose? Logan smiled confidently. Without epic equipment, he believed a magic apprentice had no chance. I won't lose. Aiden gave him one condition. If you lose, pay $1 billion to the families of those who died in the White City. Logan's expression stiffened. $1 billion was an enormous amount. But then he looked at Aiden's epic gear. Greed immediately appeared in his eyes. Fine. If I win, I want all your equipment. Aiden stared at him strangely. One epic item is already worth around $1 billion. Are you stupid or just greedy? Then Aiden changed the reward. If you win, I'll give you 5 epic demon's hearts. Logan completely froze. 5? You actually have that many? Vespera casually answered for him. Of course. Aiden gave each of us one. He even gave one to Luke's giant dark raven. The entire room became silent again. Even Era looked at Aiden in disbelief. The Empire's treasure vault didn't even have epic demons' hearts available like that. And Aiden had given one to a pet. To everyone there, that was unbelievable waste. Then Aiden casually looked at Logan. 5 isn't enough. How many do you want? Logan stared at Aiden in disbelief. How many do you want? Did Aiden really mean he could provide even more epic demons' hearts? Logan quickly tried to challenge him. Show me 5 first. What if you lose and can't pay? Aiden calmly opened his hand. Several epic demons' hearts appeared at once. Everyone froze. 1, 2, 8. 8 epic demons' hearts. The surrounding geniuses instinctively moved closer. Even Empress Era stared at Aiden's hand in shock. But to Aiden, 8 meant nothing. He still had nearly 2,000. Of course, he wouldn't reveal that. If too many entered the market at once, their value would fall. So, Aiden looked at Logan. 8 epic demons' hearts. If your college testing score is higher than mine, they're yours. Logan could barely hide his excitement. He immediately called his father. Dad, trust me. I can win. It's 8 epic demons' hearts. While Logan arranged the 1 billion payment, Era quietly warned Aiden, Logan is already level 23, and high-level equipment isn't allowed during the college testing. You should reconsider. Aiden simply shook his head. Your Majesty, I still have plenty of demons' hearts. Losing 8 wouldn't matter. Era froze again. 8 epic demons' hearts wouldn't matter? She couldn't even imagine wasting one. Did Aiden really have dozens of them? Before she could figure it out, Logan returned. My father has prepared the billion. There are plenty of witnesses here. You can't back out now. Logan was completely confident. Without high-level equipment, he believed Aiden was just a weak magic apprentice. Then Victor spoke again. I'll also prove something during the college testing. Strength matters just as much as tactics. If I had been in the White City, fewer people would have died. Aiden's expression immediately became colder. He still hated hearing Victor talk about the White City. I'd like to see what a mythic reclasser can really do. If either you or Logan scores higher than me, I'll admit I lost. Logan immediately looked at Victor. This is my bet. Victor waved his hand. I don't want the demon's hearts. I only want to prove myself. Logan relaxed. He still believed he would easily beat Aiden. Era realized the situation had already gone too far. Soon, everyone in the Sovereign City would hear about this challenge. So, she decided to officially announce the college testing. The Great Shaw Empire college testing will begin in 1 week. Every candidate will take the first round in their home province. Only the top 1,000 from each province will enter the final test. While Era continued explaining the rules, Kelsey quietly pulled Aiden's hand. She whispered, Aiden, I believe in you. You'll definitely get a high score. After the banquet, I have something for you. Aiden smiled. Despite everything that happened with Logan and Victor, Kelsey's trust made him feel better, and he already had one goal: become number 1 in the entire country. Logan and Victor would simply be opponents on the way. After the announcement, Kelsey pulled Aiden outside. Then she took out several items: platinum and diamond rank equipment, enhancement gems, and other valuable resources. Take these. Aiden immediately refused. You should keep them. He gently pinched her cheek. You might need them after awakening your profession. But Kelsey lowered her head. I won't. Then she quietly revealed something Aiden never expected. I'm sick. Mother didn't want anyone to tell you, but I know I don't have much time left. Aiden froze. The princess of the Great Shaw Empire had a deadly illness? Kelsey forced a small smile. Sorry. I shouldn't have told you. Suddenly her face became pale. Sweat appeared across her forehead. Aiden, I don't feel well. Aiden immediately became worried, but footsteps came from behind him. Era, James, and Atlas had arrived. Era quickly picked Kelsey up. Let me take her. Kelsey weakly waved toward Aiden. Then her eyes closed. She fainted. Aiden was about to ask what was happening, but suddenly, Kelsey opened her eyes again. They were completely black, and a terrifying aura of death and destruction began spreading around her.